Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast, is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support the show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Salutations, everybody. It is Maddie here today. Hope you're all doing absolutely excellent, and welcome to episode 259 of Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast, our last regular Duke of 2025. So hope you enjoy this one. We'll be back the following weeks. You won't miss a beat at all. We'll have holiday episodes out. But as always, I am joined by the man who would never abandon the Forza Bros during his Xbox tenure, Lord Cognito. How are you doing today, good sir?
Driving down these Horizon streets. Hey, man, it's nice over there. It's nice. Love you, Motorsport Bros, but you know. We will discuss.
It's our time.
It's our time. It's our time. Look, man, the streets chose us. That's what happened. These racing streets chose us. But no, I'm good, man. I'm just trying to, almost like final stretch week for me.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like,
yeah.
I see the light. I see it.
Yeah.
You know? Now, for you, I was a little worried because, Attic hit me up. First of all, happy born day, Lord Attic. I want to shout him out.
Oh, hey, I got to text him.
Yep, it's his birthday today.
I'll shoot him a text right now.
Yeah, please send him. Send some love to my brethren. And he's like, yo, what you doing? I'm like, eating, preparing, working on a project. New Fallout's out. I'm like, oh no, I forgot it's today. So I got caught up. I was like, oh man, it goes 2 hours. There's no way I was going, an hour and a half, but there's no way I could miss it. So yeah, I did that too and stuff. That threw me off, but it was good to catch up with him, be able to talk about it. Because like you, I'm dealing with another he loves Fallout, man. So he wants to talk about the episode. So I'm like, I wonder what Maddie's doing right now, because this is supposed to be his downtime. That literally his favorite series and the #1 show is out and debuted as of recording yesterday. So I'm curious, how are you processing supposed downtime yet Fallout season?
It's kind of funny. The stream flopped. I did like a live review of it and it did really bad. Like not a lot of people showed up. I don't think people care as much as I thought they would, which looking at that, I mean, I was honest with my audience. They were like, are you going to do this every week? I said, it depends how many of you guys show up. I said, if no one's really showing up, like I'm going to take my time off and we'll kind of catch up after the winter break. And not a lot of people showed up. It ended up like, I think archiving at like 13K people, which isn't like awful, but that's for me to work like Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, like when I'm supposed to be off. I thought there would be more people. So yeah, like honestly, I get to just watch it as a fan now, talk about it when I come back from my holiday break. And that's cool with me. So I'm okay with how things played out, but so I've processed my time differently now. Now I'm like, okay, I'm actually going to have downtime in a sense. Like my uptime will be, writing for our game. I have some stuff that I had not been able to finish in the front half of this month like I wanted to. So I just said, you know what? Post-Christmas, I'll go for it because I'll actually have not any video work to do, no Duke to do, and I'll just be able to focus on that exclusively. And it comes together pretty quickly. I'm able to give it all my attention. So I'll still have things to do, but I'll be chilling a little bit more, which is nice. But I'm like you, final stretch this week. Just as always, everything coming together at the very last minute when it comes to that final week of the year where I got like 4 videos I got to edit tomorrow. I'm going to be at this computer all day. No health is wealth this time around.
No health is wealth.
Unfortunately not.
Yeah, I've been so proud of how I've been sneaking it in, but I've actually been in a good pocket last week. I've been refusing to give it up, which is probably not to my detriment. It's probably to my detriment sleep-wise, but it's just like, man, it's just been making me feel better. But yeah, this week after I get through, I'm in the same boat as you. Obviously the Dukes, the ILP, the stacks, the final stacks of that. We did our final ILP last Sunday. I got, two, obviously we have the new Venture, Lords After Dark, and Insider Gaming, right? So I stacked 2 more with those. And then what's funny is I'm doing all this. And you ever get a comment from a fan that loves you for something? Yeah. And then like, it's shout out to my homie Pico. Like, he's like, so when you bring a last word back? I'm like, bro, my bandwidth is great. Nah, son, you got it's time. We'll talk about why people are excited for certain things that a certain studio is doing and all this other stuff. But it's funny how, like, you got to think it as a compliment. People appreciate you and want you to be a part of stuff, but also just you don't have the bandwidth. And now I'm trying to wind down. So my thing is just get through this week. And then I could kind of really take some time off and probably visit a friend. I'm probably going to get back to VB, Virginia. It won't be Ohio, but it will be a Virginia Beach trip. Shout out to my man.
Christmas time in Ohio?
No Christmas time in Ohio, unfortunately. They got to miss me this time.
Come on now.
I know. But I got to shout out to my man. What's my man? Billy the Brewer, who he's out there. And he was one of my friends, is out there. I'm like, bro, you got to give us the lay of the land, someone who's familiar and stuff like that. So he said, yo, I got you, this, that. And so we figured something. I think his birthday's around that time too. So be out there for a couple of days. That's towards the New Year's. Because New Year's, I like to do something for the New Year kind of thing, right before the holiday. So that's the tentative plan and also Mad Gaming. Like I got a lineup of everything I want to do and stuff I want to play. So I'm excited for that.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Just excited to kick my feet up, enjoy the holiday season a little bit and just recover. I'm definitely this year. Okay. Last year I was crawling to the finish line for a totally different reason. This year it's just like, man, I'm a little tired. I can feel it in my content voice and sort of my approach to my content. It's like, I'm just kind of a machine right now.
Yes.
I don't like feeling like that. So I'm excited to just get my head back on my shoulders. But we appreciate you all being here. And thank you for hanging with us all year. We have more sentimental stuff we share in our final episode of the year as we usually do. So look forward to that. Let's start off with health as well. A lot of our audience wanted to write in to kind of round out 2025. This first one comes from a person I know very well, Henry Maxwell. He says, hey, Dukes, long time, first time. I'm writing in with a long overdue health is wealth write in. This summer at the end of May, as a then 34-year-old who works from home at a computer all day, I made the goal of becoming more healthy via upping my VO2 max level. I was far below average and at high risk of diabetes in the future if I didn't sort out my life. And well, it has been a challenge. I have a while to go, but on the bright side, I am down 34 pounds since May and can now run for about 15 minutes without stopping. And I wanted to use this opportunity to give a big shout out to y'all from the neon night streets of Tokyo. Okay. While my first month, I blasted the same album, Bury Tomorrow, Will You Haunt Me? And with that same patience on repeat because I was fast and and also exactly 45 minutes long, i.e. my daily workout time. The following 7 months have been exclusively defining Duke and 45-minute increments 4 times a week as I do high-intensive training, running through various Tokyo streets in the night. So I wanted to thank the duo and the guests for being there for me reliably on this journey. We're 2 points away from VO2 max levels being average, but have certainly long gone above the diabetic threshold. And I hope you'll continue to accompany me next year as I plan to keep going until those levels are athletic, another 40 pounds from now. So how about that?
That's huge.
He rounds out here saying, he told me I had to read. He said, and as a personal note, I want to give a very special shout out to Maddie for being a very good boss and a particularly great friend because he can't say it himself. I want to make sure the world knows he works very hard and is very fair and eager to learn all he can on the game dev side of things. So I always appreciate him taking game development in stride and learning all he can, even when we have hiccups along the way. I always commend him for making and taking all the time he does with the team, even when he has Last Stand Media and YouTube to worry about. With that, are there any albums or podcasts you bring with you on repeat to the gym? May you all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Yeah, that's my art director. Shout out to Henry. Yeah, he's
that's what's
one of the most skilled dudes I've met, one of the nicest guys I've met. He's awesome, and I can't wait for everyone to see what he's doing. He's incredible. Our whole art team really is. So I'm really excited for that, and I appreciate him doing this.
That's dope. You needed to hear that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I don't ask for it, but I really do appreciate it. I'll give you your raise, Henry, for God's sake. Don't twist my arm.
All right.
No, but it's nice to hear that stuff because you never know, really. I mean, you kind of try to just do your best, but you don't know what everyone's quietly thinking. So for him to do that was very nice. So I appreciate it. I didn't make him do it, guys. I didn't slide him a little 20 and be like, hey, bro. Audience needs to know how sick I am. Especially in this day and age with AI. I need to know I'm a cool boss.
Thanks. No, that's what's up. And salute to him on the diabetic level and the hit, doing all that type of stuff. That's awesome, man. Like he's really committing. And shout out to him being in Tokyo. I like that. You know what I mean?
Moved there a couple years ago.
Yeah. So as far as the question, as let's bring it back to you. Then I'll answer after you. What's the albums or podcasts you bring on repeat when you do have time for the gym these days? You got work these days, or 50,000 things.
For me, it's kind of flavor of the week. I'll be honest. Like, obviously, I always go to the video game stuff, but this has been the year. Like, if last year was an exploration of movies and bringing that more into my life, this year has been what I like to call normal people music. So I would say I want to make sure I get this band's name right, because they've been the latest one I've been grinding. Funny enough, Henry actually introduced me to them, but they have a similar name to a vegan cheese. So I don't want to get it wrong.
Fair enough.
There's a Via Life, and then Via Life is the vegan cheese. This band is called Via Nova, and
so
they're VIANOVA.
Got it.
And I think this album that they put out is a masterpiece. It's called Hit It. I have been grinding this fucking thing all year. Otherwise, Breach by 21 Pilots has been a repeat for me. I kind of reconnected with them this year. I listened to them when like they first dropped Car Radio. That was one that I really liked. And Post Animals, like my current favorite band, but they're definitely not a workout band. They're very like, you're going on a walk, which I've done a lot of cardio this year, more than any. I haven't done any strength training this year. So for me, going on walks, listening to kind of that psychedelic rock, kind of what I've been up to, and Post Animals really fit my vibe, so I love them. So they dropped a new album this year as well called Iron, which I really liked. Daedric is also really good. I've been going back and forth between like kind of psychedelic rock and metal screamo. I like good screamo, man, and Daedric's another one. Daedric's awesome because they're, as you can tell by the name, very much inspired by Elder Scrolls. Like the lead singer is awesome. She sings about like Oblivion. She sings about like alchemy. Like she kind of mixes Elder Scrolls themes into her music.
That's crazy. That's what's up.
She's super cool. Like, I'm listen to some of her song names.
What's her
Nern, Dawnbreaker, Cold Harbor.
Come on.
Yeah. Alchemy.
There you go.
Yeah, it's really awesim.
That's fire.
Night Mother. She calls herself the Night Mother.
The Night Mother.
Yeah. Okay. But Daedric is the name of the band. DAEDRIC.
Like Oblivion.
Yeah. She's got an incredible voice. Switches between like kind of screaming and a pop kind of funky voice. Incredible voice. Yeah. So I've just been kind of vibing with all that. So they've been in the rotation all year. It's kind of what I'm feeling that day. But I would say my go-to as of late has been Via Nova with the Hit It album, which I know Henry's very familiar with.
What's funny is I'm on the Instagram and I follow by Mr. Matty Play.
Yeah,
I see you. He officially, he not BSing y'all. Mm-hmm. He raps her. Okay.
I'm right on her. Yeah, she's cool.
That's what's up.
What about you, sir?
For me, it's been kind of the same. I mean, obviously for the workout stuff, it's always video game music. I've been in obviously anything that's recent, obviously it's playing, you know, I'll usually give homage to the soundtrack, but like I've been in this like classic theme song, like intro themes to classic shows, like stupid things, like from way back in the day, Knight Rider, or like stupid, silly things that like hold a nostalgic place for me. And now that I'm older, I'm actually researching who the composers are. Like I remember when Superman came out and the new one, right? So then like, I'm like, damn, do I remember the old Christopher Reeve joint? I think the guy's name is John Williams, you know, and I'm like, damn, he did this. He did Raiders of the Lost Ark. He did that. Like you start to realize like some of these iconic people who did more than one thing, and you're like, they're responsible to like the soundtracks or the themes of the greatest shows of all time. I'm like, yo, this is mind blowing. So stuff like that, I've been in that pocket. As far as hip hop, I've been in it's kind of a renaissance for me through Mass Appeal. Shout out to Nas, shout out to Mass Appeal, his label, which is getting a lot of classic artists. You know, a lot of people wrote a hate the new Ghostface album. You know, obviously Nas and Premier, which is one of my favorite DJs of all time and my favorite rapper of all time. They've always been talked about a dream collaboration, and now they put out one this week. So that's dope. So I've just been in a very nostalgic pocket with them for people that I love who are creating new music and it sounds timeless. And I'm like, man, so I am in heaven with all the stuff that I'm listening to right now. So that's been on repeat for me right now. But yeah, it's usually just the video game music, a little hip hop, get back into my R&B bag. Obviously, I still got my metal choices that people suggest to me all the time and I rock out. And of course, my geeky music. So Spotify just gave me like you know how like they do your wrap up? I don't know if you've been getting that from them lately. They hit me with like the wrap up. Like, you've been listening to this.
Yeah, my wrap this year on everything from gaming to music is not what I thought it would be.
Same.
Normally I have my finger on the pulse, but this year I was like, how did I not like Post Animal? I swear, his favorite band of the year. Like their album was not in my top 5. I was like, since fucking when? I was like, I listened to this shit on repeat.
Yeah, bro.
Ow.
It's crazy. It's crazy what your listening habits sometimes tell you for the year, what you actually listen to the most. Yeah. You're like, really? It was this? I'm like, okay, it's crazy. But yeah, man. I also want to shout out to I've been in when we talk about what we play, I've been really in my Terminator bag. And I want to shout out.
I wonder why.
I wonder why. Yeah. I want to shout out Brad. I believe his pronunciation is Fidel, and he's the one. I had no idea he created a lot of that synth sound for the original Terminator movie. And like that movie is like a horror slasher flick for me. The first one, 2 is my goal. But I really been back on 1, and I'm like, why does this make me uncomfortable? Like, I really feel like I'm being chased. Like, why? It's the damn music and the themes when Reese gets her out of the police station and certain things kick, and I'm like, yo. And then obviously this is Arnold's debut and this menacing, unstoppable feature. Bro, I've been in my Terminator bag. I've been watching James Cameron. I've been watching movies, documentaries. I'm living my best life right now. But shout out to Brad. I believe his name is Fidel. He is responsible for why I feel scared. He is the one. And I'm like, yo, he said, you can't reason with it. You can't stop it. It will not stop until you are dead. I'm like, yo, this is the greatest. So shout out to him.
Right on. Okay, yeah. So there's your music, Henry. Appreciate you writing. Appreciate your work on our game, of course. What do we got here? Raisins up next. Salutations, my connoisseurs of white meat and dark meat love. Seeing as there were no listener inquiries on Duke last week, I figured I'd resubmit my question from last week. I apologize ahead of time if this question fractures the Duke's relationship beyond repair, but the world must know, pancakes or waffles? Do you prefer the light, soft, spongy texture of the pancake, or do you prefer the slightly crispy exterior of the waffle with its soft, airy interior? Love the description here. You're really like painting the image in my head. I can taste it.
Yeah, I can taste
On one hand, pancakes are quite versatile. They can be rolled, folded, and even made into unique shapes. Pancakes are simply and arguably they offer better syrup absorption. However, waffles offer that satisfying crunch due to their crispier exterior. The squares of a waffle act as a perfect cup for your toppings. Waffles often pair better with savory flavors. I mean, there's a reason it's called chicken and waffles and not chicken and pancakes.
Oof.
Wherever you stand on this hot button topic, I think it's important the Dukes make sure their voice is heard loud and clear on this prescient and timely issue. The big backs of the world must know. Anyways, the real answer is French toast kind of day. That's a good counter. I like that.
Shout out to French toast.
Give me with it.
This is tough.
Mm-hmm.
These are beloved for me. Man. All right. So let's break it down. I initially started as a hardcore waffle dude. I admit. I initially started as that. Especially, look, the commercial side of me is Eggo waffle would be amazing. I ain't gonna lie, a little blueberry, a little Nutri-Grain. You know, it has that pocket. You can pour the syrup in and stuff like that. But as I've gotten older, it is pancakes. It is pancakes because pancakes, you could do more with, especially as a guy that lifts when I got on the protein pancakes.
Oh, like Kodiak.
Oh, bro. Like it's
Kodiak cake.
I love that, man. Absolutely love it. So like this is very close.
Have you tried those? I'm sure you have, yeah.
Which one?
What was the brand? Vans?
Oh yeah. I've had those. Those protein waffles. No, I've had Vans. And they come in the black box with the I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I've had good. Very good. Protein waffles, very good. It's just something, I don't know. Just lately I've been in a protein pancake kind of thing. But you can't go wrong. This is super close. And I will say, obviously, for a person that doesn't cook a lot, has an air fryer, waffles are so easy. Like, it's like pop, done, baby. Yeah, like, you even got to think about it. So the laziness in me will probably defer to a waffle first. But if I had to say, you know, without those factors involved, it is just head to head. There's something about the pancake. It is. It was just back in the commercial days of IHOP when I didn't cook or do anything like that. Like, those go hard. You know what I'm saying? Or you get a good pancake from someone, it goes hard. But what do you think? I'm curious with you. It's an edge. It's a slight edge, though. I want to be clear. Like, I can flip flop either one. But if gun in my hand, I'm going to go pancakes. But what do you go with?
I don't remember the last time I had pancakes.
It's been that long. Okay.
Yeah. I have actually. I know there's a picture on my phone of me at a diner from like 2013. It was like a late night. I had like a vanilla milkshake and a pancake. I was. You want to talk big backing it? Like I remember that. My dad used to make pancakes a lot. Kind of slowed down on that. And I think because of that, I kind of became more of a waffle guy. Like
so easy too.
It's not even the easy. It's just because waffles can be spongy. Like I think when you get the frozen waffles and you cook them in your house, like they're usually going to be like a little crispier. I do like them that way, but like I've ordered waffles at places and they're like a little soft, and your knife, just like a pancake, carves right through. I feel like the beauty of the waffle is going to be whatever you want it to be. Yeah. I like a crunch, dude. Like my favorite snack is pretzel. So I like
I love pretzels.
Yeah, pretzels are like, I'm a pretzel addict, dude. It's terrible. Anytime I see an Annie Ann's, it's a wrap. Like, so it doesn't matter. Healthy pretzel, unhealthy pretzel, they're so good.
So good.
But yeah, I always like a salty, crunchy snack. And I don't know, pancakes for me, the thing I struggle with is they're not really breakfast food to me. Like you're having a cake for breakfast, and I've never liked super sweet food to start my day. Like when I make a waffle, people are probably, we're talking syrup right now, but like I'll put a little butter on. And
of course, you got to.
But that's it. No syrup. Like I'll go.
So what you do with your waffles raw?
I'll go raw.
You raw with the waffles?
I'll have some raw waffles. Yeah.
No strawberry, no nothing.
It's definitely something with me though, and I gotta know. Actually, I don't know if I want to know what the Dukes think on this one, because last time I did this, I was vulnerable. I tried to open up and ask everyone about the PSP speaker. I was like, yeah, bro, dumbass. Nah, there wasn't a speaker. It was a nub. You were just stupid. I was like, all right. Sorry for asking.
Overshare no more.
I'm like Larian right now. It's like, okay, we're not going to talk about the food about that household suddenly. Yeah, I don't know, man. I remember growing up, like I would come home from school and I like to grab like a plain piece of bread and eat that. Like I sound like Micah right now. Like
you sound is very Micah.
Yeah, like I know, but like I don't know. Sometimes it's just plain carbs is fucking awesome. I love that. Like I like having my chips plain. I do enjoy a good dip though, but like I like a nice plain crunchy savory thing. And so for me, like a little simple butter on top of a waffle is all I really need. The added bonus, because I think it's also the mindset, Cog. Mm-hmm. When I'm really treating myself and I warm up that syrup and I pour it on top, I earn that shit. And that feels really good. Like right now, I'm not in my waffles with syrup phase, because I'm like, you're sitting in this chair constantly. You're not getting out there. You're not sweating as much as you should be. You can't get that. So it's a push and pull. But when I'm busting my ass and I was like, okay, I've been going hard for a month, I'm going to have some waffles with some syrup.
That's the reward.
Yeah. So it's also a mindset thing, but I think the waffles you can get away with a little easier is what I would say. Pancakes, I don't know if there's like a healthy outside of the protein ones. I don't know, but the protein ones kind of, I don't know. My brother likes the Kodiak one, but like, yeah, I'm usually good with protein foods like that. But Kodiak pancakes, maybe I got to try others, but the Kodiak ones weren't that good to me. They tasted very chalky.
Very chalky to you. Yeah. Okay. No, I get what you say. I think where we do agree, where we're like, I'm still not with you on raw with no syrup. Raw. But we ain't doing wrong with that one. But I will give you this. There is something about, even with bread or waffle, like I like when you put the butter or whatever on a spread and it kind of melts into it a little bit. Yeah. And it gives a nice little texture to it, like a softer texture. I know you like the crunchy, but for me, I was like, it's something about, even when I'm like
soft and crunch, it's like a bowl of cereal, right? When you put the milk in and it's like wet, but still crunchy. Yeah. I think that's when the cereal's at its best. Okay. Well, if it sits there for too long and it becomes like a sponge.
Yes.
Now you're eating like a flip floppy waffle. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It can't be that soaked and soggy. And no, I'm with you on that. And I do like that taste of it. So I give you that. That's what we could be in the middle of that.
Breakfast early is a game of urgency, isn't it? Like almost all the great breakfast foods, you got to eat fast. If you don't, like, you can't microwave an egg. You can't be like, oh, damn, that shit got cold. Like I'll just warm it back up. I mean, it'll taste like ass, but you could. Same with waffles, cereal. Pancakes, maybe you get a little bit away with it, but I think even then, like, you can't toast a bagel and then retoast it. Like, dude, it's such a dangerous game. When you sit down for that breakfast, you gotta be ready to go.
You gotta be ready. I hear you.
Soulful Bisons with our next write in here. Health is Wealth update. Hope all is well in the Dookie verse. That is a hell of a name. I like that.
That's a name.
I just wanted to say I got the job. It's been a tremendous weight off my shoulders, and maybe one day, I forgot he wrote this. Maybe one day I can lay some pipe your way. Now I can game in peace. Thanks, guys, for all you do and the extra work you're putting in for the holidays. It makes a difference to us blue-collar bubbas in the field. Of course, man. Our pleasure. Please, keep your pipe to yourself.
Keep your pipe to yourself, but we happy you got the job, though. Shout out to Bison. That's big, man, especially for the holidays, having that peace of mind. I know what that feels like, and man, celebrate a little bit. Yeah. Just lay down the pipe where it need to be laid down.
Lay down the pipe in your own home, Why not?
Keep the meat on the table on your table.
All right, next here is KZ Icon, then we're done with Health is Wealth for the year. Hello, Dukes. This is for Health as Well. Actually, I want to say thank you to the both of you. Earlier this year, Maddie, you called me out. I wrote in about not wanting to play any of the games that I'd spent too much time doom scrolling, then stating I may be depressed after starting to go to therapy. As well as you, the great Lord Cognito, because of you, I realized I was not in a great mental place and needed to step away from social media and get back to reality. I've started going out more and hitting the gym and making me appreciate my games more. Honestly, I know I'm still very far from better, but if it wasn't for you two, I think I would be in a really bad place. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you both. Hopefully the next time I write in, it'll be with much better news. Thanks. The second I saw some lizards getting busy, I knew it was a Larian game right away kind of day. Shout out to KZ Icon, man. Good to hear the victory story here. I do remember your initial write-in. I'm glad that you're doing better. I don't remember calling you out. If it was received that way, I hope it wasn't like a negative call out. But yeah, I definitely don't remember being like, yo, dude, get off your ass. To me, that sounds like call out energy. But I'm glad we helped you. And glad you're doing better, enjoying your games a little bit more. It's all about the mindset, right? It's about earning it. If you earn it, it feels good. That's all it's got to be.
No, that's dope, man. And salute to you as far as being able to step away sometimes with socials. That's definitely a go-to for mine. Get your mind right. And you're hitting that gym. I like that. Appreciating games and life more. Salute to you. That means a lot, brother. Thank you for the kind words. And the Dukes could, provide some support and comfort. That's dope.
Absolutely. Cog.
Yo.
This next bit of news here is accompanied by a write-in. Papa Fridge says, Dukes, it's time to talk about the most important Xbox news of the year. And by the way, by the time everyone's listening, this will have already happened. He says, the Xbox Bowl. Yes, Xbox is sponsoring a college football game. I bring this up because I think it's another reminder of what Xbox's priorities are going into 2026. The trophy for the bowl game and the gift to all players for playing in the game is not an Xbox Series console, but the Xbox ROG Ally. I know the Ally is the new hotness on the streets, but I find it humorous and enlightening that instead of putting an actual Xbox on the trophy or something distinctly Xbox on it, our friends at the college football centric podcast, the Sickos Committee, recommended putting the Duke controller on the trophy. They put their new third-party accessory that can't even play most Xbox games. Couldn't come up with a more Xbox way of ending 2025. Just keep in mind that as we get closer to the next Microsoft announcement, that Microsoft is running as far away as possible from the Xbox part of the gaming brand. Interesting to see how further they run away in 2026. Cheers and happy holidays to all. Cog, have you seen this trophy?
I have not. I did not know. This is news to me.
Let me grab a link for you.
Yes, please.
I did not know about the Xbox Bowl. So I started going down this rabbit hole thanks to Papa Fridge, because I was just like, okay, I got to lay eyes on this. And dude, this trophy, it doesn't look bad, but it's just, it really is, I think, what Papa Fridge said. You just look at it and you're like, man, like the achievement unlock stuff is cool. But like bro, they put the Ally in the middle of the Xbox Bowl, and I'm like, this is a promo.
That's crazy. Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
Not an Xbox, man. Like, dude.
I know. It is. Look, we know that they are trying to, with the adjacent launch of this is the most recent product launch, so to speak. Yeah, okay, fine. But yeah, like it's an Xbox Bowl, so you would think it would be something inherently Series S, Series X, thing. So yeah, that's interesting. That is, I did not know about this. That is good. At least a controller, like even the logo itself is like the Xbox Bowl. You have the controller, stuff like that. They try to push this ROG on you. That's what this is. But yeah, I'm surprised by that. I didn't know it's not a console.
Yeah. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is, I think Papa Fridge put it just right. Took the words right out of my mouth. It's a very Xbox way to wrap up 2025. I mean, it's really signifying where they're at as a brand and being like, this is the future. And like, I hope those college football players enjoy their handheld PC.
And here's the thing, like college football, the most popular games on the actual Series X console. I don't know if you can play college football on that. Well, you can, I guess, if you get the EA app, but it's like you won't be able to use your Xbox per se profile because that happens with EA games. Like you play them on like the ROG, you have to go through the EA app joint. You're not using your Xbox profile on that. So that is very interesting choice.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Just product awareness. The only theory to bail them out was like, well, they were maybe hoping to launch their own thing this year, but then Valve scared the shit out of them, and so maybe they already committed to the Xbox Bowl and were like, oh, we got to put this thing here instead. I don't know.
They're trying to get as much awareness about that product as possible, and it's the most recent product. That's what that screams to me, but it's not distinctly pure Xbox, so I get it.
Sure. This next one comes from J-Dub. It says, hey, Dukes, been watching since day one, but this is my first time ever writing in. Thank you. Question. People usually talk about anticipated new releases for the upcoming year, but what are a few backlog games that you want to finally play in 2026? Could be something you missed in 2025 or something that you've been sitting on for a while, years even. Thank you, Maddie and Cog, for the years of entertainment. You both are such a dynamic duo.
That's what's up.
Cog, we have a lot of games that we're already targeting to open 2026. You look at your backlog and say, that's one I want to get to next year.
I mean, it's so many. It's so many. One that I'm going to kind of allude to that was kind of an announcement as we, talk about the show is just that finally a certain series has came to the platform that I've been waiting for and I put on hold, my Final Fantasy VII Rebirth stuff. So it's just like, because I was like, all right, let me do 16 in the meantime while I wait. So that was one. There is so many games, bro. Then obviously, shout out to the Sacred Boys and stuff like that. Obviously people have heard my excitement for Soros and people are like, yo, you need to get on, Returnal. And I'm like, all right, maybe I give it a shot just to reconnect and stuff like that. There's so many series. I'm trying to think. Then also with next year, there's a lot of big game releases. And one thing I like to do as you get close is kind of like play back some of the earlier entries of something as you get ready. So obviously, what's funny? It's been a long time since I actually played Fable games and stuff like it's like some of these things I've forgotten about. You know what I mean? You haven't played them in so long, you literally forgot. You just remember key points, Jack of Blades and certain things, but it's just like, so you got that. Like there's so many, bro. So those are the ones that come to mind right now. But what about you as far as like backlog of things that you like, gotta do that. That one's been missing. It's been itching at me.
Deus Ex is the first that comes to mind.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's the big one. The first Deus Ex. That's I want to say priority number one on my holiday break because I'm getting some replays off my chest. It's just the right time to do it. The new Fate of the Old Republic announcement has me jonesing for Knights of the Old Republic 1. It's like, it's time. I have not replayed that game in at least 3 years. It's been a while. That's a lot for me. I used to do it every year. But I kind of laid it down because I was like, this game just makes me feel such powerful things. But now I want to embrace that. Like I've been running away from these things. It's kind of how I describe it. And then Fallout New Vegas, as I'll talk about in a little bit for what we're playing section, I'm doing a replay of that, like a full top to bottom replay. And I'm going for the platinum trophy. PS3. So that's fun too. But I just I want to reconnect with these things I love. I put a lot of time and effort into playing a lot of modern games, and many of them are great. But this year, as I've said a million times, so I apologize for being a broken record, was like a lot of time wasted. Like I when I looked at all my Wrapped and I added up my hours, I was like, okay, I put about the same amount of hours into games this year as I do any other year, which was a little bit surprising. I thought maybe I dipped a little bit just because this year had been really busy with the game, but I was happy to see that. So that's when I truly knew I was like, I did waste time because I put as many hours into these games, but I was dipping into this. I was playing a little bit of that. I was experiencing a little bit of this. I was returning to something I didn't like just to experiment further. I'm not doing any of that shit. Like if I don't like something, that's kind of the rap, right? Like I'm pulling a little bit of a cog. Like I want to spend time on the things I love. I don't want to spend time angry. I don't want to do that.
My man, I love it.
I'm still playing Souls-likes.
We're still playing Souls-like though. I make sure shout out to you though. But that's your genre. You love that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a better balancing act. I think I went so hard in the job category. I lost out on games I just wanted to play for me. Like it's not always about the content. Like I want to just play KOTOR because I'm excited for something coming up. I also want to just be fully brain ready for the remake because I just on Sunday rewatched all of season 1 of the Fallout TV show to kind of reconnect. And it was the transition from that into season 2. I was like, oh man, I forgot this feels so fucking good. Like I'm there. I'm mentally there. I'm ready in every way, shape, and form. I didn't have to make a video about it. Like I like doing that stuff, but like it was cool. I like did that exclusively for me. But that aside, it was just like that reconnecting is so vital. So
hell yeah,
that's what I'm looking to do. But Deus Ex is top backlog next to Titanfall 2 and maybe Metal Gear Solid 3. Those are my two small games, right? Those are like, I've heard 5 hours for Titanfall 2 all the way to like, maybe 12 for Metal Gear Solid 3. So yeah, will I bang all of these out on a holiday break? Probably not. But the New Vegas Platinum is going to be like a chip away until the season finale, like kind of just let it rest. KOTOR, I'm jonesing for, but I want to at least get one of those backlog games off.
Nice.
First. Yeah. All right. This next one, it comes from JP. He says, hey, Dukes, understandably, last week you missed some games announced or showed off at the VGA, so I appreciate this writing because I did miss quite a few. Yes. He says, I compiled the list of games you didn't touch on, but feel free to skip over any that are not of interest. I tried to exclude ones that I thought you'd have nothing to say about. So he put on this list here, The Free Shepherd, Tank Rat, Bradley the Badger, Stupid Never Dies, Decrepit, Solasta 2, No Law, Forest 3, Orbitals, Out of Words, and Toxic Commando. He said, thanks for all you do and have a relaxing and well-deserved holiday break. Thank you. And appreciate you looking out like this. This is awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
This is a huge community moment here because like, I just love that they picked us up like this. So
yeah, that's dope.
Was there anything here on this list that you didn't get a chance to talk about last week that I missed when I was setting up the show that you want to talk about here?
Shout out to, for sure. Shout out to again, JP for this one. I want to shout out Bradley the Badger because I've been known to, exude creepy cog. I'm not touching that energy. Whenever I see cutesy furry things and happy-go-lucky faces. But I ain't going for a Bradley the Badger. I was like, all right, I see you. And he was in different kind of subgenres and it was funny. I liked what I saw. And an artsy-fartsy game. I know people laughed at it. I was like, yo, this shepherd dog game look kind of interesting with the sheep. I don't know why. It's the art style. Something made me go, that's relaxing. I want to play that. I don't know why. So those are the two off top. What about you on this list? Any other things that we didn't mention from this specific list that you saw? Like, baby, okay.
No Law. No Law was the one I was like, oh, damn, I didn't talk about that. This is from Neon Giant. They made The Ascent. And yeah, famously, I was very excited for Ascent at the start of this generation. Yeah. And that was a game I reviewed and was like, nope, looks really cool. I love what it was thinking about doing. This was, funny enough, also the game that I think out of anything I can recall from the Game Awards ran the worst in its trailer. Like it had a lot of frame issues, but I like how Neon Giant thinks about games and they've spent a lot of time on this one. I think they worked directly with Epic on this as well. So, it's one I want to be open-minded to, but definitely a game that I think with some of the RPG ideas that Ascent was playing with, sort of that freedom of exploration. I want to see, because No Law is apparently taking that a step further. I want to see what they do. And it's also an interesting transition to go from like that top-down shooter to first-person shooter. So I'm keen on that one. Solasta 2, I know a lot of people would attach me to because like, oh, it's a big RPG and it's very Baldur's Gate 3-like. But as I said before, things in early access just never... It's too much good stuff to play for me to spend time on something that a developer is actively working on. Like, I respect the players who do play in early access and give that feedback. I think it's valuable. I'm just not one of those players, though. So, Solasta 2 looks great, but that's one I'll wait for the 1.0 version of, if anything. And Forest 3 was a surprise announcement, for sure. But otherwise, nothing really jumps out off this list to me. Beyond Out of Words does look really good. Should throw that one out there. The little kids, artsy fartsy, no mouth. Beautiful game. Yeah, puppety kind of kids. I remember. Otherwise, though, thank you, JP, for your writing. All right, next one goes to the Blues Bomber. Hey, Dukes, writing in to advise Maddie, but that before the door opens, there's a 12 on the floor in front of the Blue Bomber. While I love your thoughts about it being a bridge between the main and X series, which it could still be, it does look like this is indeed Mega Man 12 in spirit. Much love to the Dukes, Mega Man for life. Thank you, Blue Bomber. Yeah. After we had recorded the episode, it also came out that this was originally supposed to be called Mega Man 12.
Okay.
Little pin in my excitement. I don't like classic Mega Man very much. It looked like classic Mega Man. When I saw the armor, I was like, okay, maybe it'll play more like X. My hope is that in 2027, there's a report that Capcom has another game celebrating Mega Man's 40th anniversary. This could be anything. This could be Legends 3, as in something new, big, and exciting. People were kind of mocking up ideas of like a X game that's like Metroid Prime. Of course, that would be that's a dream video game for me. I would lose my fucking shit. There's X9. Could throw that in there. Or it's just another collection. It's anybody's guess, but I'll check out Mega Man 12 or Dual Override. It's got to earn me though. I'm just not. I don't like how classic Mega Man looks. I don't like how it feels. I'm an X bro, man. Like I like the upgrades and the progression and the spirit of war and like seriousness and not like like I just shooting eggs at you.
I can see the animation that you did there. Yeah. I can see it in my mind.
Just like when I'm that weirdo. I'll admit, like I'm that weirdo. It doesn't get me excited. Where like when I saw Smash Ultimate, they were like Mega Man's here, and I'm like, oh, it's fucking classic Mega Man. Like what? Why? Like what? Put some respect on X's name. This guy's got now 12 fucking games. Like. X has been sitting there with 8. 8 was not as bad of a game where like I understood if they stopped at X7. X7 was terrible. But X8 was such a great recovery. It was like, hey, we listened and we got something for you. And I thought it was all right. To stop there, I'm like, why? We need X9. So I hope that's what we get as Blue Bombers wrote here. Maybe they unify them. I don't know. But it is Mega Man 12 in spirit. And for that, I'm just a little bit. What's the word I'm looking for? Chaps my ass a little bit. Just a little bit, A
little abrasive.
Yeah. It's a little friction now, stepping in. But hey, that means it can surprise me a little more. I'm stepping in like, okay, I don't know if I can love you.
And then if it impresses
me over.
Yeah, I got you.
Fine. So
let me ask you this before we move on. Is it, because you guys are the Mega Man community, you, Colin, and Ebontis are my Mega Man triumvirate. So my question is like, is there a civil war in the middle Mega Man community in terms of, or is it like let's be honest, is it like a baddie, like deep cut, like X is the real joints and there's a subset that people like, yo, X is really Mega Man, even though the other crew might be the more popular crew?
I don't know, actually. I don't know because there's so many. I grew up in a different era of Mega Man than Colin, not just because of our age difference, but like I grew up with X and Zero and Battle Network.
Okay.
I missed out on. I didn't play. I should say I didn't grow up on Zero, but Zero was out during my time. Because I missed that and I missed Star Force. But I grew up mainly on X, like X Command Mission, the X games, and the Battle Network. And to me, those were like the Mega Man games because they were evolutions. Like X Command Mission is a turn-based RPG. Battle Network is a role-playing game as well. Like I love the Mega Man RPGs. Like they need to bring those back as well. Legends was a huge miss for me, but Colin comes from a different era where he grew up with the very start.
The very start, yeah. I know about that.
And so I don't know if there's a divide, and I don't know if it's like generational. I think most people agree. Like there's just some Mega Man games that are good, like some that are bad. Like X is an all-time classic. Meanwhile, X7 is an all-time stinker. Like it's terrible. So there's a lot of divide between each game in the Mega Man community, but I don't know if it's like this side versus that side.
Okay.
It's just for me, I like the progression because there's like an element like you'll get new legs for Mega Man and he'll jump really high now or he'll dash further. And when you start going back to these bosses over and over, especially usually these games end in a boss gauntlet, it feels really good beyond just exploiting their elemental weakness to just be like, if you get the helmet, like things that would normally one-shot you in X8 when they drop on you, don't. Like I just like those little upgrades, those little increments that make it lessens the friction and you just get that power fantasy. Like X8 has like, I think it's like white Zero. I'm mixing them up. Is it white Axel and black Zero? I'm not sure, but they all get their own special suits. I like that feeling. So I'd never found these classic Mega Man games to have that. It's just very pure.
Pure, yeah. I got you. It's too vanilla, too boring for you.
A little too vanilla. That's a perfect way of putting it. All right. Next up here, we got to clear up some Warhammer nonsense here. Deacon Dude's got the right in. He says, "Greetings, Tactical Matty and Grand Strategy Cog. I'm a longtime Total War fan with literal thousands of hours in the series. I just want to clear up a thing or two that you may have misunderstood about Warhammer 40K. Total Warhammer 40K. The gameplay is kind of like Civ or other 4X games, with you building up cities and armies, engaging in diplomacy and managing resources, all of which is turn-based. What separates the series from others is that battles are real-time with the ability to pause and issue orders in single-player mode. That and the scale of battles in which a single unit can be comprised of a couple hundred individual soldiers with armies numbering in the thousands. So you won't be able to zoom out of the battle and go do stuff on other planets. The battle takes place, then you load back onto the campaign map and resume managing your empire. Also, I seem to recall Matty looking forward to a rumored Star Wars Total War. At the time, all of the Total War leakers and YouTubers were saying that was old news and that the devs had decided to do Warhammer instead. So I think that is probably the final nail in the coffin for those streams. Sorry about the long post, and have your little dream game was announced, but the subreddit is full of whiny doomers kind of day. Yeah, I on the Star Wars Total War thing,
yeah,
I would love that. The only reason I didn't want it is because a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's going to be that's the announcement. It's not like KOTOR or now we know it's FOTOR." And I was like, I think a Star Wars Total War game would be great, just not in place of Old Republic. So that would still be awesome to see. But that was the only reason I was a little bit against it. As for what we're cleaning up here, this does, I think, scale the expectations in a good way. Because the way the trailer works, like you saw them pull out from that army and you saw like this galactic map and they pulled out again. I was like, holy shit, this game looks insane. It still has my interest. I do want to check it out, but I know it's one of those games, like just as I was talking about with our backlog segment, it's like, should I? Like, I'm not a big Warhammer 40K guy.
Right.
But you don't want to be so close-minded and protective of yourself that you don't embrace things that you would really love. So I'm in my picky Matty era. We'll see as we get closer, Cog. That's where I'm at. What do you think of this Warhammer nonsense, though? Fill me in.
I appreciate the extra clarity on this. Still not sure if it's for me, but in fairness, I want to get more information as it gets closer and we see more. So I'm going to wait and see, kind of look. But, I'm with you. I mean, generally, I'm going to be honest. My sadness was that this was the big Sega announcement. And for me, it just didn't hit like that for me. But I know for the masses, this is huge. So I'm still kind of maintaining that stance. We're just hoping I get another Sega IP and stuff like that. But thank you for clarifying the turn-based part. That part I did not know. I thought it was strictly RTS. So now I got a shred of interest has gone up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested, especially because 40K out of anything Warhammer is the most interesting part. Because did you play Space Marine 2?
Yes.
Yeah, that game is so sick. So
sick, bro. That's like Gears or some next joint. Like that is serious.
That's really the Gears E-Day competitor in my eyes. You know, that one just really reinvented things in a way where I was like, watch out.
Watch out.
You're ready.
That's what I'm saying. We need an evolution of the formula. And that gave me and then the sheer scale.
Did you try some of like the multiplayer and co-op like classes and stuff? Because bro, there's this one class that literally you can like shoot a grapple gun and just like pull yourself in and dive on. That game is so sick. I got to go back to it. Honestly.
I got to go back to it too, bro. Yeah. I really enjoyed my time with it. Yeah, bro. Like I'm looking at Coalition, like I need Evelyn. These guys are putting things together in your space. And I'll never forget, to me, that's the sense of sheer wall. Like when they're scaling the wall and just overwhelming. So many of them, yeah. Bro, that feels like we're out here in a real battlefield with real overwhelming odds. That's what I want from Gears. And I'm like, better be careful. These boys is on it right now.
All right, Cog. This next one is all you. You didn't get your chance to, it's been a busy kind of couple of weeks for us. You didn't really get a chance to get your bars off. Neo JD writes, mostly for Cog, wanted to hear your thoughts on Lord Tekken, Mr. Harada, leaving Bandai Namco. Thanks, and have a put your dukes up for the legend kind of day. Cog, how are we feeling?
Bittersweet. Oh man, this is tough. This day will happen for all your legends, your luminaries. So I guess, Harada is my Todd Howard in a way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, he means so much to me from the very beginning. I remember him, just fighting to get Tekken heard. And he even said it in his post. Like, he's kind of like, hey, I know Virtua Fighter, all these games are out there, but play some Tekken. And I remember I was not as impressed with Tekken 1 when I first saw it. And I was just like, okay, it's it's in the 3D space. You're trying to push polygon. It didn't look as good as Virtua Fighters. And it wasn't as deep. But I saw potential, but I just wasn't interested. It's not until, I tell people all the time, if it wasn't for Tekken and Harada, I would not have gotten a PlayStation. That was the game. Like, there's certain games that make you buy. And I remember I was like, okay, PlayStation's coming out with a console. They have Tekken. They have Ridge Racer. Oh, I played those in the arcade. Okay, let me see. And that was the first time I'm like, oh my God, this is 1-to-1 what I've played. And that's when I learned about the System 11 board, which was the arcade board that was used in the 3 arcades. And then that was ported as far as in the hardware of the PlayStation 1. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting arcade perfect ports. Like, this is almost unheard of. So anyway, back to Harada. And then obviously I think the Breakout 2 was a big breakout. You saw the evolution of the graphics, the 3D. You started learning about the counters, the throws. I'm like, man, look, the animation is what impressed me. It had real martial art. And I believe in Tekken 2, that was Jim and Lei Wulong, the Drunken Master debuted. And I'm like, okay, so they're evolving. The thing about Harada that I've always respected is his dedication to representing the martial arts. And I remember when the big step out moment, Tekken 3. Tekken 3 changed it. You saw the katas. I saw Harang for the first time. I saw Taekwondo represented on its purest form. You had martial arts doing motion capture, Ling Ziyu. It was mind-blowing. The music was amazing. And then here's where Harada beat everybody. He was the king of giving you got the arcade release. Fantastic. But when you got that, you got so many extras, sub-bosses. You had cinematic endings, adding story context to characters that make you feel something. Yo, he over-delivered. It's like when you get, you expect the port and that's it, you're fine. No. We're gonna make the home console version an event, something so special. Tekken Bowl, foolishness. You're like, yo, and each iteration of Tekken became, what's the extra thing? This is resources. This is a lot, man. Yeah. He is a visionary. And then obviously the famous comments, don't ask me for shit. And he wear the shirt. And he became the cool figure of Tekken, the shades. Bro, I'll never forget. And again, as a PlayStation person who loved that, it was big for Xbox to get. I remember Harada on the stage, Tekken 7, Street Fighter crossover, Akuma's in the game. Mind-blowing moment. He's got so many moments. And the thing about him is he paid attention to the community. Now, what we hear is he stepped away. Apparently, he's been stepping away over the last couple of years and now handing responsibilities over to other people. And, I think he's going to do his final appearance and stuff like that. This is a legend. This is a luminary in the game. And also, I want to shout him out for paying his respect to Itagaki-san from Dead or Alive. I didn't know they had a rivalry. I didn't know how deep it go. And this is a major day in the community. I just hope that whoever's in charge, the next generation, really pay attention, because Tekken 8 is trying to recover right now. It's been a little shaky. Some of the decisions people haven't liked, they went too over aggressive on certain things. But I just want to pay, pour out one for Harada. And I was very fortunate to meet him. I never thought I would meet him ever. And I remember meeting him, taking the picture. So gracious. He didn't understand a word I said, but I damn near was going, said bend the knee to this man, because Tekken is responsible for my competitive aspect of my career and making me, before esports, I was the guy in New York City playing Tekken and going to the arcade scene and the competitive scene, and including all the Iron Lords podcasts. We made that our part of our culture. So I owe Tekken is probably next to Halo. Like, Tekken is there for me. That's what Tekken is. It's that special. So salute to the legend. Hopefully hear from you and see you got other things going on. And hopefully Harada's bar stays open. That's his YouTube channel. So we can check him out, see what he's doing.
Yeah, man. It's like we talked about a little bit off camera. It's like that feeling of like, we're getting to that point where we're going to have a lot of send-offs for some of these legendary devs that are kind of like, hey, I gave it my all. I'm done. And that's it. And they're kind of moving on. Like, we're starting to see that trickle in a little more. And I don't know. It's like a reflective point, because, you look at who are the next era of industry heroes. And that'll be fun to discover, no doubt. But it's going to take a while, because we're such a young industry that it's like tough for the new names to crack through, because this is all we know. We know Todd, we know Harada. Like, it's very foundational stuff. And embracing change of any kind is particularly tough for this industry. I'm guilty as charged, by the way, not calling anyone out. Like, it's just
fair.
So it's tough to bring up those new legendary names, because like they were there at the foundation. Like,
I know,
at the creation of it all.
Such an exciting time, man. Yeah. Last thing I said, I remember how much I love Tekken so much, because shout out to Colin, who worked at GameFAQs. I used to go to arcade and print out the move lists and then go to arcade to practice. And shout out that he was the first person I've ever seen, when you go to the arcade, every week you show up, a character would be time released in the arcade as a sub boss. Revolutionary stuff. No other games were doing it. Also putting, I think it was Tekken Tag, being able to come with your PlayStation controller, plug it into the arcade unit, and use controller functionality. Bro, this guy was a beast, man. Shout out to him, man. He also helped out on Soul Calibur and other stuff as well. But man, his resume, when I associate him with Bandai Namco, and that's what made me love Bandai Namco, because it always was synonymous with quality, and that's due to Harada, in my opinion. He has a huge contribution on that.
One more question.
Yes, please.
Tekken 9 without a Harada. What does that sound like in your head? How do you feel about that? That's like a Metal Gear without Kojima, no? Like,
yes, that is very interesting, and it will represent uncertainty, right? You don't know how that's going to go. He's been behind every major release. So, look, one thing I gave me a little hope was that he has been planning this exit for the last couple of years, he said. So this isn't like sudden, I just woke up one day, that's it. So what I'm hoping is he's got the right people. And I want to shout out Michael Murray, who's his American translator stuff. I don't know if Michael Murray's going to be running stuff, but one thing about Harada, though, is like he keeps good people around him. So I'm hoping this next year, and maybe we get, like a Platinum Games kind of thing where it's like the next young crew up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. So, but one thing about him, man, he listens to crew. And one thing I like about he's spicy. He will, if you disrespectful, he go, you know what I'm saying? And last final thing I want to say is shout out to him for not only martial arts representation, region and country represent. Hey, we're gonna have a Swedish fighter. We're gonna have a Polish fighter. We're gonna his team does the research from the localization standpoint, how they're supposed to sound. And one of the most hilarious things in Tekken lore is how everybody in the game speaks their own native language, but they all understand. Shout out to Harada for that. Bears, dinosaurs in his game. Come on, the guy, that's fun.
We're all the same at the end of the day.
Hell yeah.
All right, Cog, let's talk a little bit of Elder Scrolls 6. So Todd Howard was doing the tour, as one does before a new show drops, or a new season, I should say, drops. And of course, he's being asked about everything. He did mention at one point that they're working on more Fallout than anything, which, man, poor Elder Scrolls fans, Cog, feel bad for you guys. Like, even when your game is next, Bethesda's just looking at that cash cow over there and being like, well, we got to give that a lot of attention here. Now, when asked about the progress of Elder Scrolls 6, Todd said it's progressing really well. The majority of the studio's on 6, but I'll say this, we always overlap. So we're very used to overlapping development, and we have long pre-production on things so that we feel good about them. And it's a process. We all wish it went a little bit faster or a lot faster, but it's a process that we want to get right. Meanwhile, Emil Pagliarulo was asked a bit about what's going on with Elder Scrolls 6, and he said, I can say that it's going. It's funny because the time pressure that players put on us, we don't put on ourselves. He says, we're going to take our time and as long as it needs to be great. I kind of like the energy. I mean, if it turns out great, here's the reason why I'm going to bend the knee to the take your time Bethesda thing. Bro, if you've paid attention this last year, they need the time. They need the time. Okay, so that's why if anyone calls me a hypocrite, go ahead. But look at Shattered Space, Fallout 4 Next Gen, Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, Skyrim on Switch 2. I'm forgetting one. 76 Burning Springs. That was busted too. They need the time. They get all the time. Because if they don't even get, clearly this is what happens when they don't get the time. It's terrible. I don't think a lot of devs end up that way, but Bethesda needs the time. Okay. They will get the time. I mean, at this point, bro, it's a lost cause. We've waited this long. And honestly, part of the reason I'm willing to wait is I'm not anticipating it as heavily as I once was because of this last year. I'm like, y'all can go away for a little bit. Virtuos will take good care of us with their remasters. Please disappear for a while and just cook. And we'll see. But Cog, your thoughts? It's going to be a while.
I like this, man. I like this, man. I like you know what? Give them as much development time as we did. Now buy Moto safe for a week.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I didn't get a as a black and white photo of him sitting there. Delayed game is eventually good. Like, thank God, man. I'm glad people are just dropping that shit. We don't need him getting that quote involved in every delayed game. It's not the same. It's just not the same. Not all delays are created equally. There you go. There's my black and white quote. Put that underneath the replies of the next delayed game. Not all delays are created equally.
Not all delays are created. All right, you standing on it. I respect that, but I like the nuance today, so I'm happy with that. I'm happy for the growth. You know what I'm saying? We love that. Look, this is interesting, right? Because it's like we know the popularity of Fallout right now. We know what's going on. Obviously, the series is out there. I've seen Tom move around. I'm gonna be honest. I am a little concerned for a different reason. I saw some stuff, and I don't know how true it is. I ain't gonna blow up the person, but he knows it is. I saw something more online, and it was kind of like Todd gets a lot of smoke, but the reality is like Todd is spread so thin that he really can't be everywhere, and they have to give up the reins on certain things. And some of this has been explained as far as Starfield, like, and what's going on. Like, obviously, you see Emil and these guys talking and stuff like that. So some of the thought process is that, like, some of these things are other people's babies, and Todd he's so required and so vital to everything, but his energies could only be placed in certain, pockets. And to me, it's clear as day, at least in my opinion, when I looked at Indiana Jones, I'm like, to me, you were really involved with that. And I felt the quality bar was extremely high, right? Because to me, it's like everyone wants Todd's input. Todd is so vital, right? So if you get his input when he's spread 1,000 directions, right, he can only focus on one thing at a time. So I think that seems to be more, I do kind of agree with that, even though I don't have any 100% proof on this, but that's what it feels like from the outside looking in. I would defer to you on other stuff. But as far as this, look, Fallout's all the hotness, all the rage, right? Mm-hmm. It does spell a conflicting thing, though, when you're saying, well, one article is like, hey, all of us are on Fallout. And then the other article is like, well, we're still working on Elder Scrolls. Not saying that teams can't work on two things at the same time, and not saying they can't have overlap, but it does scream to me that how do you replace this luminary or help this luminary with all this foundational knowledge that needs to be a part of these critical friends? How do you solve that? Yeah. And that's been the issue to me for Bethesda. That's but how do you internalize it?
No, yeah, because like you can tell when Todd's involved. And I mean, like you can see like right now he's not in the studio. And that's the thing that I think people started to feel with Neil Druckmann. Like he was just out of studio constantly. And I think you could feel that a little bit in how people were receiving Naughty Dog, how they were thinking about Naughty Dog, how I didn't think Naughty Dog suffered this big quality dip because we haven't really seen much from them. But like when your luminary is distracted or spread thin, they're human. Like you're going to feel that. And my hope is that Todd settles down because needed for Elder Scrolls 6. I'm not saying that means the game will be incredible, though. When he is heavily involved and focused, I think we do feel that. And I think there's no, as much as I am upset with Bethesda, I know for a fact with everything else going on, Todd isn't fucking directing Shattered Space.
Right.
That's someone else. Todd is definitely not looking over the next gen update or the anniversary edition of Fallout 4. He's probably looking at the plans on paper and going, okay, we're doing an update for Fallout 4. We're doing 76 Burning Springs. Cool. Sounds good. Like, I'm sure that's what it comes to. And his day-to-day is probably the TV show.
Yes. I see him outside over there all the time.
Yeah. Like he is very connected to the show, which I wouldn't blame him for season 2 if he was connected on that level, because let's be real, bro, we're messing with New Vegas now. And already episode 1, without spoiling, some New Vegas fans are getting a little uppity. I'm not there because I think if you pay attention to a certain theory that's going around, which we came up with on our live stream chat, if anyone wants to check that out, it's an exciting one. We're like, and they're kind of exploring some stuff that Obsidian never got to fully realize, is what I would define it as. They're picking the right things from my point of view, but that takes a careful, focused hand to do those things. And obviously there's a whole team involved in that. But when they're spread thin, there's a million things going on. I don't blame Todd for everything going on there, but like they need to clean up their house. And I just hope he settles, because I think that's what's needed. Because if right now this is what it looks like when Todd isn't heavily involved, that studio is fucked, dude. If this is what happens when you pass it down to the next level of seniors and they're managing the team, it's a disaster. This is just not this last year. I know like a lot of people are like, well, Starfield sucked too, but like to me, this last year of Bethesda Game Studios is such a incredibly low bar they've set for themselves. And you could even tie it back to 76's launch, its post-launch support up until Wastelanders. Starfield had its bad design choices. Like there's been a lot of problems. Like they really need to get this one right. And so if that requires Todd settling down, I hope that's what they do.
But let me, before we move on, because I got to pressure on something. So the question becomes, this is only one man, right, who has all of this foundational knowledge and is responsible for the greatest games in our era, right? So with Fallout Show being what it is, right, and now the hottest thing in transmedia as well as the game property IP, what do you do when he can only you can only invest as much resource with him being involved, and you being the guy who loves the Fallout series the most? Mm-hmm. Is it a situation where you're going to be able to pick one over the other if he doesn't have the bandwidth?
Well, the thing that I have issue with is that we know he's not going to have the bandwidth, and for the Fallout franchise, with Elder Scrolls, there's not an easy solution. ESO has done its part. It's kept people afloat. It's really good. It's well supported. People love ZeniMax Online. Like, that did what 76 wanted to do. Fallout's not been that way. Fallout fans have been very particular about what they wanted, and Bethesda's ignored that. And what's hilarious is Bethesda's solutions have been right in front of them. Let Obsidian work on a Fallout game. They were, I don't know if they're in that bag now in a post-Avowed and Outer Worlds world where they're kind of like, hey, these are our IP. We're no longer Little Bro. But there was a point they were begging to be the Little Bro and like, hey, we want to work on Fallout again. Like, they've said that before. There was an option there. People wanted remasters of New Vegas. People wanted remasters of Fallout 3. People wanted repackagings of the original 2 games. Like, I'm not saying making that happen was easy, but their path to sustaining this fan base while they focus on something like an Elder Scrolls 6 is ridiculously more easy than what Elder Scrolls got. Elder Scrolls got a ton of ESO, a shitty mobile game, and then eventually Elder Scrolls 4 remastered, which frankly didn't match up with anything that's happening next in the Elder Scrolls timeline. They were just kind of like, whatever, let's just do this one. It was just a thing, right? So I don't know, man. Like, I get where you're coming from, but I just think if my bandwidth is split, I think solving the Fallout problem was really easy on paper of like what fans want. Like, okay, fans want New Vegas. And while I can forgive certain higher like marketing for not knowing about certain choices that are going to be made with the Fallout TV show, if Todd knows, like, he's talking to Nolan, he's like, here's our story. He's like, and he sees on the paper, and then we go to New Vegas and we have a full season based around that. If I'm Todd, the brain switch flips and I go, okay, you're saying a season's going to be based around that. I probably want to go greenlight something about New Vegas, whether it's a remaster, a remake, or just based on what the show's already doing. It kind of presents this idea of like, what if we played New Vegas in its core map again, but seeing all these locations updated for what they are in the Fallout TV show, and we get to explore that because they even go to a vault in this show where I'm like, oh,
they went to a vault, and even the opening where was shooting from, that was an iconic location and certain things too. So they're going in here.
I'm rambling, but my idea is just really that I think solving the problems that are presented by Fallout was a much easier thing to solve. And they were kind of negligent on it. They just sort of let it hang. And same thing they did with Elder Scrolls. And I think that's what's coming to bite them in the ass. So at this point now we're talking about what could have been. If we're talking about what they can do now.
What can they do now? Let's problem solve. Let's try to fix. Let's try to create solutions.
We can create solutions. It looks to me like Kilter's got a pretty good handle on that TV show. If Todd's just a yes and no man, does that really rock the boat?
I feel you, but he's got to consult on Todd every day, every skip, every scene. Todd's got to have some feet. I feel like I think we're underselling Todd's level of involvement with the lore that he created for this show and future seasons where it goes. That takes a lot of, that's different than a video game. Every seed, every aspect, the soul of a series, where you got the creator, that takes a lot from you.
Yeah, it's a conflict of interest because I think the problem it presents is like, you can't have your studio head like out doing like press tours for the new season, traveling with the actors and actresses, like not like a bad look type of thing. You can't do it, but it's more like that's a level of absence that again, we saw with Naughty Dog. And that's why Neil was like, I'm sitting, I'm dropping my duties. Like he let that go. And maybe
right.
Of that because Last of Us season 2 was not going over all the fans. So he was probably like, yep,
he's like, I'm good.
Yeah. He's like, go ahead. I think there's that part that Todd could do that because I think this man needs to stay home is how I look at it. Like, I think it's not an easy choice. And that's
your man. The difference between I gotta fight you a little bit because it's fun. Your man has the hottest property right now in trans video game. Like it don't get no hotter than Fallout right now.
Right now.
Real right now. Provided season 2, there's no fall off like maybe a Last of Us kind of thing. People did not like Last of Us season 2, but provided it maintains this level of heat. That's hard to pull him. And let's be honest, the money is in these movies. We saw Sega and them say, hey, games didn't sell as well, but that new Sonic and that Shadow, and we're going to be making these movies to supplement this video game sales not being as hot as we like.
I don't know, dude. If on the other side of that is Elder Scrolls 6, I feel like he's got all the reason in the world to be like, dude, the next big thing is right there. Like that Fallout's doing its thing. And again, he had all the tools to solve the problems for Fallout. That was, I think, their collective mistake, was just not having shit ready for Fallout. Even if there was no TV show, there was just things people wanted and expected from the franchise that Bethesda didn't meet those demands on. But I think even if Todd's like, hey, I'm pulling out because I want to focus on Elder Scrolls 6, I think that would think of that as a statement, right? Kind of like what Neil did. He's like, hey, I'm not working on the TV show. I want to focus on the game. What would the public reception be to that? Like, I think it would be a level like, oh shit, okay, like they're locking in. Like that's, I think, encouraging for Elder Scrolls 6. I don't think it would be a fight. I really don't. Like, I think ES6 is long overdue. It's 5 years too late for a lot of people. But I think when that is the next big thing, dude. Like that is right next to GTA 6. I think Elder Scrolls 6 is there in that conversation. Skyrim is a generational video game. Like new generations are playing it, old generations are playing it. It just crosses all those boundaries. 6 will be bigger than anything Fallout's probably ever done.
Factual.
So if I'm Todd, and you got to pick between the two. I'm not saying, make the hard choice now, but I think it's getting to that point where if he is split and like things are taking too long, and more importantly, quality slipping, where there is a level of like, for the hardcore community, like I can speak for my own community. When I talk about Bethesda, there's a level of like, I want to be excited for ES6, but I don't have faith in them right now. And that's where I'm at. It's like, I don't have the faith, the belief in them to really deliver quality right now, because they haven't for so long. Even Starfield to an extent, like I came out, my first thing I said in my review was like, yeah, it's like my least favorite Bethesda game. It's still really good, but like it definitely has a lot of issues. So they need to, I think, really dial in and get this one right. Because this game cannot afford to suck. That's why they get a little delay pass. They get Maddie's delay pass on this one.
All right, fair enough. No, I had to ask you that because I felt it was important. And then the last thing I'll say, I know we went along with this one, but I was just going to say that it's hard if Fallout continues on the trajectory, the TV show that it is, they could be potentially sitting on the next Walking Dead when that started. Remember when Walking Dead started and how that was a cultural phenomenon? That's what this show could do. And it's hard sometimes to walk around. But everything you said is valid. I don't want to beat this in. I just wanted to bring out both sides. That's all.
No, absolutely. This next one is an interesting yet uplifting update in some regard. When Xbox was going through their studio shutdowns, their game cancellations, et cetera, one casualty of that we thought would be John Romero's next game, which he was apparently working with Xbox on. But we just learned at a video game expo in Spain that he announced that their game did survive. Now, it's a bit of a catch-22 here because he said that the project is much smaller now, and it is some kind of shooter, but again, it's smaller. And he said that compared to what the title was when Microsoft was funding it, the design is now completely different. But with 110 staff members working on it, the team isn't starting at ground zero. It incorporates a lot of elements from what they were making before. And he even cites something like Elden Ring as a thing they drew inspiration from. And he said he's never played a game like the one that he's leading now. It's a shooter, but the things that you do in it will be new to people. That way, going through Elden Ring was like a really new experience for other players. So still exciting stuff. A little vague, but definitely good to see he got through. I think that was the main thing here, because for those who don't remember, an anonymous source had said that they had a meeting with the publisher, as in Xbox, the day before the layoffs happened. They said there was no mention of what was coming. It seemed very far away, and the title was very well developed at the time. And the next day they learned funding got pulled. So it's a alleged statement, but still just context worth considering on like how they kind of got through that. So understandably, the game changed because of that, which is a real shame to see. But I'm curious as to your thoughts on this, sir, that Romero's game has made it through.
Well, obviously, we're glad that Romero survives the cut, because that was, I believe, during the ZeniMax MMO cuts and all that brutal stuff that was really hard pill to swallow. So salute to that. Obviously, I'm not happy that the scope, gets shut down. I mean, gets, scaled down, excuse me. So I just hope that, this is my thing, I just hope that the spirit of whatever he's trying to create was retained for the most part, and they could still move forward with that. That's my thing, that this game actually comes out. So I'm glad he exists, because I was worried when that news came out that he would be a casualty. And this, again, we talk about luminaries, people in all types of games, media space and transmedia space. This is a legend, and we would love to see what he could create.
Let's talk about another first-person shooter, Call of Duty. Well, fresh off the statement that Activision had made about the future of COD, no longer doing back-to-back Modern Warfares or Black Ops games, we have a report from Ghost of Hope, who has been a known Call of Duty insider and leaker for years now. And he says Call of Duty 2027, made by Sledgehammer Games, will be a new sub-franchise with completely new characters set in the late 1990s/early 2000s. He says Omni movement with no tac sprint is currently planned for the game. Pick 10 returning is a big discussion happening. Zombies is currently not planned to return, and Get High returns, which is still unclear if it's at like the third mode, which I don't know about Get High. I'll be honest with you.
No.
Clearly we're out on COD. But,
clearly we're not.
We see that combined with Mr. Matt Booty, who recently spoke saying shipping a major franchise like Clockwork every year is a really difficult task. And I got thoughts up and down on Call of Duty, and you saw some of them in the Last Stand staff chat. Yeah, so you already know where I'm at. But Cog, what do you think about a new sub-series? I think that's exciting. 1990s, early 2000s. I like that. That's my era. Okay, get down with that, Cog. How are you feeling about the new sub-series, what they're saying about what Ghost of Hope is saying here about what will be included or discluded, but also some of Booty's comments on shipping a big Call of Duty game every year?
Well, it's clearly need a change, because going back to back with either the Modern Warfare or the Black Ops thing creatively seem to do them a disservice. Obviously, we know the results of this game is not, for the most part. I know multiplayer bros, zombie bros, don't come for me. I know y'all saying it's hot. I'm just talking to the campaign bros and the people who feel overall that the product is just not as hot as the competition. We can't avoid that. Battlefield 6 is out here and Arc Raiders is outside. And we cannot avoid what the effects are. Now, still, they're going to say, hey, it's the number one thing on Xbox. That is true, but it is still in decline, right? And that is something that nobody wants, right? So what I will say is, if they're going to do like a third iteration, this kind of version of it, yeah, absolutely. Let's give it a shot. Let's break up the monotony, right, of just the switching. My only concern is studio resources to actually facilitate that, who's equipped to do that, and then the time that is allotted to create that, right? Because when you're in the annual cycle, I treat you like Madden, right? There's only, in my opinion, as much you can do design-wise incrementally that could affect this series. Not that you can't make any changes and improvements, but we all saw the result of a Battlefield 6 when you have a longer development cycle and you had time to. So that's my concern with them. Now, as far as the Matt Booty quotes, it's like, look, okay, yeah, it is difficult. I mean, we understand that. No disrespect. We understand it, but that's the challenge of you acquiring it, right? When you acquire something and that's an annual franchise, these are the pressures, and they're going to be under tremendous pressure, because this was the heart of the ABK deal. Now, the only thing I will push back on you is that, I'm not going to play this, it's bad, this year, right? Which it is. We're not running from that. It's bad this year. It's down this year, right? I got to see 3 years, 2 to 3 years back to back. It's bad. Then I go, okay, you're the stewards of this. It's bad, bro. Right? I still look at Black Ops 6 as a positive, extremely transformative thing. I don't play this, they didn't own it thing. Like, that was still there. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing I push back with people like, see, they got it now. It's awful. I'm not there yet. Give me one more year of Black Ops 7. Yeah. You got me. I'll shut up. No, bro.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And to your credit, historically, they have shown when they own something, or when they run something when it's them, right? It ain't necessarily have out the best result, right?
Yeah.
As far as from a creative standpoint. So that all I'm hoping is get the infrastructure in place, do what you need to do creatively to give these guys that break where it's like back and forth, and give us a new genre. And I'm with it. I'm willing to give it a shot. But the competition is real now. You've got to protect this. This is your money maker. Woo. So the floor is yours. I know you're about to go in.
I like the idea of a new sub-series. I think that's exciting. I think that'll be reinvigorating, especially if it looks and feels different and thinks about Call of Duty a little differently. When it comes to Xbox as stewards of this franchise, I shouldn't say I'm worried about this because I think it'll be an interesting change, but the fact that we're rocking the boat in so many ways now that I'll go down a list in a moment here, I think is deeply concerning. Like, Call of Duty sucked when Activision owned it, to be clear. Like, I was not super in on it. So okay. Yeah, like we're consistent here, like I'm not saying it was bad when Xbox got it. It's been bad, like it's been tiring. Now, Xbox can look like heroes if this sub-series is great and this is like a new age of creativity and intrigue in the Call of Duty franchise where we're thinking about it in a new way, and like all these games are out of the Modern Warfare Black Ops sweatshop. I think Black Ops just needs to go. Like, just after 7 again, it's because they've returned to it so many times, and just they continue to do weird experiments that like multiplayer only, no campaign, or the campaign betrays everything that you set up in Black Ops 2, and it's continuing this story 5 games later. It just, what are we doing here? But you throw this whole mess together, you add in what they're having issues with on the Game Pass front, quietly behind the scenes, the financial concerns. That is their decision, even if it wasn't indicative of like their full responsibility of the quality of the game. I wouldn't say it's a worry, but like I totally see a world where the way they're talking, like, man, it's really tough shipping the game every year. Like, I totally see the lane being given the Battlefield at this point. Like, I feel there is they're feeling that pressure. And now they're more importantly, something Call of Duty doesn't seem to have experienced for a while is financial pressure. And they're potentially going to mold, this is all future speak, mold the franchise to sort of what Xbox can keep up with. And I think the franchise in turn will always be a powerhouse, but I think it could lose a leg in the battle. Just because, again, when I see too many of the like little signs, like, you're in a relationship and you're starting to see the signs like this might be coming to an end soon. Like, a little disconnected, a little, it's tough shipping a game every year, like clockwork. It's like, I just see comments like that. I'm like, oh, and we know you just like butchered Black Ops 6, which was considered a success in a lot of ways because of dropping in Game Pass. Black Ops 7 was there and it just didn't do well. So now this thing's bleeding cash 2 entries in a row. Player base isn't quite as strong as it was. Battlefield's on the rise. It's going to be interesting competition wise, but Xbox, this could be a big black eye. And it would be fitting just given that Microsoft has a history of like taking in, I'll throw a random one out there, Skype, and just, or these big expensive ventures that turn out to nothing. Mixer. Remember that one?
No, fair. All fair.
So I'm not counting them out, but I'm excited for the new sub-series and just seeing what that is. I think that'll be a nice breath of fresh air. But what I'm really thinking about is the things happening behind the scenes and how, because of potential levels of mismanagement by Activision and Xbox combined, I think this franchise, just the way they're talking, it's set up for more change than ever, bro. The fact that they put out that letter being like, hey, we're not doing back to back. Like, hey, we're thinking of ways to creatively reinvigorate it. That would get me in if they were like, we're taking it off here. Guess who did that? Assassin's Creed. That was exciting. But the problem is Assassin's Creed didn't get better. It got worse. So I think it's just molding it around potentially bad decision making. And so that's the worry from what I saw with that series carrying over to here. We'll see.
We'll see. I hear you.
Oh boy, this next one, man. Shout out to Lockmore, sent it to me right as our show started recording. Oh, I can't be safely excited about anything, man. Between Larian and now
Jesus, what's
Archetype. Exodus boss James Olin, by the way, lead designer, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, is stepping down at Archetype Entertainment. Quote, at this stage, James feels his work on the game was complete. and that the polishing and tuning were in great hands with the team, end quote, said Hasbro VP Abby Hodes. Olin had, quote, asked to shift his creative focus, end quote, to tabletop role-playing games and would stay on as a creative consultant for the company. All right, dude.
Talk to me on this one. Talk to me.
This is so BioWare coded, it's not even funny. This is an ex-BioWare guy doing what has hurt BioWare so much. Let's use our pal Mark Dara as an example. And I only use him as an example. I don't mean to pick on him, but because he spoke for himself, I will just quote him from my interview, which is executive producer of Dragon Age. Dragon Age starts to go like this. He's like, it was 2020 he left. He went, all right, I'm out. I'm leaving BioWare. A couple years later, we find out Dara's back on Dragon Age. Now, playing the game, we know why Dara was back on Dragon Age, because that thing needed to land the plane something fierce, and he was clearly missing. Dara spoke to me in my interview and was like, yeah, well, leaving in the middle of the project like that certainly was not helpful. It didn't, like he said, probably when I left, it should have been canceled. One thing that Exodus is really shooting for the moon on is this time traveling storyline that when you, like, it's basically Interstellar. Like, you make a choice at some point, you come back to your home base, and as time has passed, the world there transforms. On paper, this sounds incredible. And what we've seen in the trailers looks really good. Characters, companions, gameplay. I have no reason to feel truly concerned, but I will never feel good when the head of a studio, like the boss of a game, is like, yeah, it's in good hands after I've spent, dude, the amount of Q&As they've done, lore work they've done. They hired Peter Hamilton to write a book in this universe. Like, they've gone all in to try to make, this is like their baby at Archetype. And you're telling me the boss who left to pursue this after all this time is out, and the game just got a slight delay into 27? Look, this is going to get spin all different ways, but like, this is concerning. It's not like a death nail. It's not like a death sentence, but I don't know how you look at this and go, yeah, like this is still okay. It's now more risky than ever, because that mechanic I talked about, the Interstellar mechanic, has not been shown off. And that is the game's defining feature. It is the reason BioWare fans like myself are looking at them going, oh, please, God, please, the next Mass Effect, please, because that system right there would be everything that would make this the next level Mass Effect game. Those big choices, those big, like, suicide missions over and over, where you go out there, make these choices, you come back, and the people that you knew are gone. Yeah, like, dude, that's so fucking cool. So I don't know, dude. He's leaving at the end of 2025, and this game's now targeting early 27, which was supposed to be 26. I don't buy the whole my work is done thing, dude. Like, you lead from the trenches. Your work isn't done till this thing ships. So it could be spun all manner of ways, but I don't think it's a good look, dude. It's definitely concerning. So what do you take from this, Cog?
This blows my mind. I did not know about this one. Very shell-shocked right now. I guess, yeah, it doesn't sit well with my spirit. I'll be honest. Like, there's something that seems a little off to me. I guess the thing is, he's the co-founder. I guess my thing is, you're going to step aside and now you will be a consultant. Stay on as a creative consultant for the company. And my concern is how ambitious this game is. I guess that's what it is. And whether or not, the deliverables he felt could be met, or there's some type of internal thing to what the vision of this game is, and there's some form of conflict. And now, again, I'm all speculating. What's my man? Paul Della Beta to lead the Wizard of the Coast division. He's bringing it in to bring it in to lead it. I mean, I don't know. This is strange to me. Like, he's taking over now. He's sitting out publicly. He's saying, "Yo, the work is done," kind of energy, right? That's he's putting. The game is complete at this stage. James felt his work. At this stage, James felt his work on the game was complete, and that the polishing and tuning were in great hands with the team. So one could read like, "Oh no, it's done. We're just, I'm just moving on, and I'm just going to be in a consultant role." It could read that way, but again, delay. It's not like Exodus is about to launch. Like we're here.
Yeah.
It's top of 2026 because what's the release date? 2027, right? What's the release year?
Early 27.
This would sit better with me if I knew Exodus was coming out in like February of 2026, and he's like, "Hey guys, we landed the plane. It's there. It's in good hands. I'm moving on. I got some other project going on." I guess because we're still a ways out, I don't know why that bothers me. So that's where I'm at with it. I hope I'm wrong. But I do share similar energy to you. Like something feels a little off. This is not as clean as I think they are presenting. That's just what my gut is telling me. I hope I'm wrong.
I just don't ever trust, like BioWare taught me that, funny enough, like just major leadership changes in the middle of development. Like at level, like the head of the whole thing.
And the game ain't gold. See, the game's gold is getting close to gold, getting close to release.
Yeah.
I'm near.
Okay, my creative is done. And maybe that's all he wanted to do was like make the thing. He's like, okay, you guys polish this thing. I don't do that, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, hopefully it's that. And there's a personal thing, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know either. I'm with you.
Are you walking away from the bag too? You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
So there's money involved in these types of choices. Like, are his residuals still intact? Is bonus intact?
So you scare me.
So I look at that and I'm like, he's walking away from cash potentially. And when I think of that, I'm like, yeah, dude, this guy might just have been like this. What I saw just this past week looked great. So I'm not overreacting. It's just I look at that and I'm like, this I've seen this story too many times before. Yeah. That pattern is there, man. Like I know how this usually ends up. So I want it to end up great, but I don't know. You can't look at that and feel good. That's for sure. And especially because like, dude, I wanted this to be his crowning moment. He's such like an under discussed name from BioWare's history. And this was his moment to be like, I'm here too. But these ex-BioWare guys making these Mass Effect-like games are cursed. Casey Hudson, Mac Walsh.
Be careful. I didn't want to put that on you. You said I didn't want to put that on you.
I know. Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I was like, you are preaching it. It feels like this curse of the like anybody associated with Mass Effect has not gone on to now deliver this super quality. And this was the team. We like, okay, Drew's over there, Capricious over there, this, that. I get it. So we're going to see, but I agree. It does slightly concern me on the timing.
I'll put it this way.
Let's go.
Like, I remember BioWare 2020. It was Casey Hudson, Mark Dara. That was an It was like, oh my God, that's like the face of Mass Effect and the face of Dragon Age leaving at the same time.
Hell yeah.
That's huge. If it's just Olin, I can maybe work my way through my feelings. If I start to see in the coming weeks or months, it's like Drew's out, Stevenson's out, like everyone's out. I'm like, I've seen that. Now it's really a BioWare story, and this game's just gonna barely scrape its way out. But
Yeah. And that would scream like, even though they way farther than anything Initiative would do, it would remind me of when all the luminaries started to slowly move away from Gallagher and all that. And I'm like, yo, what's going on? Now, granted, they
loyalty in this too. That's the other thing.
And team synergy and confidence. So my concern is not some internal conflict. Like, I ain't gonna ship this game thinking I'm gonna do all these features. This is a mess. So, like, you know what I mean? I wonder if those, you know what I mean? We've learned through the BioWare internal, things that have come out and stuff.
Yeah, and I don't think Olin has a statement in this Bloomberg article either. It's speaking for him.
It's speaking for it. Oh, good call out.
Yeah, which I remember. I picked that up because I remember you mentioning that for, I want to say it was Jim Ryan or something like that. Like,
they're speaking for someone. Yeah, never like that.
Yeah.
He said Abby Holds, the vice president of corporate communications for Hasbro, in the statement said, Holds added that Olin has asked to shift his creative focus to Olin is not speaking.
Yeah.
It's them speaking on. Good call. I didn't catch that.
Yeah. So
at this stage, James felt his work was complete. At this stage, speaking for James, we got to hear from James.
Yeah.
Good call.
It seems like he's still at Hasbro, just not doing what he was originally doing on Exodus. So I don't know, man. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. In more positive news, Expedition 33 just got a pretty significant update that was dropped at the Game Awards. It's called the Thank You Update. Some new content here. Versos Drafts. It's a new playable environment, taking the characters of Expedition 33 to a brand new place where there's new enemy encounters. It's located on the world map next to Lumiere, and it's accessible from Act 3, but you need to be able to go underwater. Just keep that in mind. There's new costumes, new boss battles, and I saw one of those boss battles.
Yo.
Holy shit, dude. It's a straight up Souls-like game now. They added new Luminas and weapons. They also added a photo mode, Lumina sets. So now you can save sets of Lumina loadouts, which I think is a great feature there. Yes. They added the abandoned battle option in the pause menu, which can now be opened in battle. HUD scaling setting, FSR 4 support, some new localization for UI and text for different languages, including Czech, Ukrainian, Latin American, Spanish, Turkish, Vietnamese, Thai, and Indonesian. Handheld PC improvements, some bug fixes. So, yeah, man, just a lot here. And this is for the sweats, because when you look at some of those bosses in this update, it's crazy, man. But it started to call me back, but I'm going to wait a little bit longer before I replay this game. But just awesome to see it's all here for free. So if anyone wants to check it out, go ahead. And if you haven't played it yet and you're one of those people saying it's overrated, but you haven't touched it, it's time.
It's time.
Grow up.
Yeah, for sure. And I've seen a lot of people saying, you know what, I got to give this thing a shot for the first time. They have not played it. So yeah, salute to that, man. And again, free. And this is a ton of updates and content. I will agree that the content part seems extremely end game sweaty. Yeah. And I saw Attic fail, and I'm like, I don't know if I need that level in my life. But I will check it out, man. But for the most part, it seems good. I love everything else from a foundational bug fix part and improvement part.
Cog, this next one's all you. I have to be honest with you. I did not watch this Vidoc.
Sure.
So this is part of you, Maddie. Like, I planted my flag after seeing what y'all did. I'm going to wait for my co-host to pick me back up and see if I should check this out or not.
Fair.
We have a release window for Marathon, so I was wrong. The game's going to come out.
I was wrong too.
Yeah, March 2020.
We're both wrong. I own that.
And let's see here. They said as part of the Vidoc, developers showcased proximity chat, solo queue, Rook Shell with a limited loadout, enhanced survival experience, immersion in danger of the world, increased fidelity, and more. It's going to be $40, Cog. So it's kind of in that Arc Raiders pocket. Have you watched this? And how are we feeling? Because this is after Fern and everything's been put to bed. They still did a lot wrong where I'm kind of like, I don't think so. But you look at this as a huge Bungie fan, a huge Destiny fan. This is the next chapter. It's March 2026. What do the changes look like? How do you feel about some of the quality of life enhancements they've added here that their competitors had that we're kind of getting them dunked on for? Like, just how are we feeling? Hit me with all the feelings.
This was a weird one because obviously, like you said, you set it up perfectly. Obviously, prior to this, the anti-real situation got handled, which was, again, for clarity, the artist whose work was taken and was scrubbed from the game now, and they made it right. She put out the statement that I am satisfied with the results of Bungie and Sony's agreement, which I felt was kind of a forced statement after the bag was dropped, right? So I'm chilling. I never forget. I was just, I'm eating food. I'm just scrolling on YouTube while I'm eating just to watch something while I'm eating. There's like new Marathon Vidoc, 22 minutes. And I'm like, what is this? Like, I'll be honest, man. I don't know what made me click it, because I was just like, my interest is really at an all-time low for this game. Maddie, I'm not going to hold you. They cooked.
Got some forgiveness in your heart, Cog?
I don't know if I'm all the way there yet, but I turned this thing on. And look, one thing about Bungie, they can sell the hell out of something. They've always been that. But remember, even Marathon, the initial Vidocs, it wasn't received well. People were like, oh, this joint don't look next gen. This joint look, Bro, first off, the graphical glow up, extremely impressive. Like, it doesn't look like the same game. Like, you're going into the environments they show before, they show after, they show the vegetation, they show the rain, the effects, the weather, the lighting. I'm like, oh, it looks next gen now. That's the first thing. Second thing, solo queue, huge deal, right? People like, yo, why are you forcing me to do the 3-player? Cool. I think the thing for me where I really set it apart for me is I'm looking at the improvements, the loot, the gunplay, and I'm like, ooh, that looks good. That looks bad. They took every amount of feedback. The details was so severe when, like, say, for example, you shoot and you kill another shell, the bodies now will stay on the ground. And depending on the length of time of death, they're showing decay and ooze and leak. So you could tell if you walk into a room and the body's just fresh and you're like, wait, someone's in this room here. That person just got murdered, right? The AI, tremendous. New design. I'm like, got the nerve to be flirting with narrative. I'm like, all right, look, their narrative is always nonsensical.
Okay.
But I was like, yo, this faction war and the thing that's going on. They got story bits, lore in the game. Then they showed the marathon ship, which is kind of, I guess, their in-game kind of content. You're going to need your best gear. You're going to need this. I have no interest in extraction shooters. I thought this game, okay, it's going to have the classic Bungie feel, design.
That's the main thing that has me interested. It's the gunplay. Yeah.
Bro, the gunplay was moving, the abilities. Maddie, I'm not going to hold you. I think I might have to be there for day one.
Oh, in March though? Really busy month, Cog.
It is.
The release calendar for us? I mean.
Maddie, be the skeptic. This is the game I'm hating on. I'm coming in ready. I don't want you to exist. You know what's that Kendrick Drake? I hate the way you look. I hate the way you dress. I'm coming in with that. Like, let's see what foolishness they did now. And I left that Vidoc like, day one, that joint look fun. And here's the thing for the Arc Raiders guys, right? Arc Raiders, you're the king, you're the thing. But this is where I think the writing we talk about, they took all the feedback. Bro, they sat there and said, what did they do? But let's do it with our spin, classic Bungie gameplay. And then the thing is, what I like is they solve the other problem. Well, the stakes are so high. Why am I going to risk? Hey, use the rook shell. You go in there, you go out. You don't have to worry about and you could join mid-match to prevent the quiet times, and there's less risk. So I'm like, okay, you've answered that question. There's still one question that Arc Raiders does better, though. I want to see how they handle a big point of contention is at the end of the season, you reset and you lose all you get. Some people don't like that. Arc Raiders allows you to keep. They got to answer that for me. If they could handle that.
Bungie step away from the FOMO. Ooh.
Exact. But here's the thing. Cosmetics, they look better. Gunplay, they look better. Environment look better. Story, they look better. This looks like the extraction shooter I would play. No disrespect to Arc Raiders. You're the GOAT. You're the king. I'm just saying this is where they did the self-reflection, looked and took what they needed to take and then added their spin. So I ain't going to front. It cooked, bro. This was not on my bingo card that marathon is something I'm interested in at all. And I would just advise you, you don't have to watch the whole thing. Watch the first 10 minutes if you have a free time.
Yeah.
And decide for yourself. And some people go, bro, I'm never forgiving them. Fair. Now, I'm just talking about for my sensibilities, that style of gunplay and that type of thing seems a little bit more interesting to me. And I know one thing about Bungie, when it comes to in-game content, they're better, they excel. And that's my thing with Arc Raiders. You're going to give me a dirty poncho. What are you going to give me to keep me, going? So we'll see. It's early. This game still got to, you got to play. Oh, last thing. Big sign of confidence. You're going to give an open beta for everyone, like how Battlefield 6 did prior to launch I like that. You ain't going to just try to throw the $40 and run away. Okay. It so far so good. We'll see. I hope it's, but I was impressed. I must admit, I did not expect that to like that thing at all. And I was like, okay. You got my attention.
Yeah. It looks better. It's like a moral conflict at this point. Like, of course. Who are you punishing if you don't play it? Right. Like that's the thought that's going to be running through my head, because it does look better. It does look like the delay helped them. I'm more interested in first person, third person, like Arc Raiders, but
same.
For me, I don't know. It's just it's a moral conflict. I hate to say it. I'm not even trying to do like the higher, more holier than thou thing. I'm not from that camp. It's just like, dude, like what happened there was so fucked. And I'm imagining the world where that doesn't happen, and I'm seeing this after a delay.
And you like this should have,
like, dude, this is the truth. Like this is what I want. Like I love sci-fi. Fuck yeah. And the world I'm in now, where I'm like, oh, there's like a lot of fuck ups here, and like they've been caught so many times. Like,
hell yeah,
So
final point, and I'm going super long with this.
You're good. You're good.
I came away thinking, okay, I watched it. Damn, I liked it. I'm embarrassed. I was watching. I liked it. So I go to socials. I look at the like-dislike ratio.
Not bad from what I see.
10-1. I'm like, oh, Chris Reagan put the tweet out. Tassie put the tweet out. It was like, yo,
Mr.
I ain't
Reagan.
gonna hold you. Yeah, Reagan. So what showed me is that people felt what I felt publicly, and I was like, oh, I thought it was just me. I was like, okay, I thought it was just gonna be me in the corner. I'll support them. I'll ride the Titanic as it goes out. I'm coming in with that energy. And I saw a lot of my peers saying, nah, they did that. I'm very interested. I'm very impressed with what I saw. You guys took the feedback. And I thought that, even if it doesn't do well, at least it bodes well for them that now there's a little bit more of excitement into the title that had complete hatred towards it because of all the foolishness that they did.
All right. Cog, let's keep moving along here in the PlayStation world. Phantom Blade Zero, just a real quick pit stop here. It's a timed PS5 exclusive for at least a year. That was that famous little white text at the bottom of the PlayStation trailers was spotted here. So just want to keep people updated for those who are interested. Cog, I know you got your PS5 Pro behind you, so you're good to go. But for those who are like Cog and are hoping for old man mode in this action adventure game, make sure you got your PlayStation because it's going to be there for at least a year.
Yes. And I heard Rumble the Dukes put us on. It is not a Souls-like.
Yes.
We were educated. I was like, yes, yeah. I'm in now.
Yeah, more action adventure. So all the more reason why I'm like, why does this shit have QTEs? But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm interested in the game still, so looks good. Next up here, Cog, Dead Island 3 is a long ways away. The team is currently targeting Q1 or Q2 2028 for its release window. So yeah, just in case you were waiting for Dead Island 3, which I am. I mean, I love Dead Island 2. I was very impressed by it. Especially in a world where Dying Light was doing its thing. I was like, we don't really need Dead Island, but Dead Island 2 proved itself. I just hope the story is better this time around. Like, it's not to be amazing, but like the story of Dead Island 2, I encourage people to play it just so they know what I'm talking about. It's really fucking bad. Like, the ending of this game is the stupidest shit I've ever seen. It's so fun. So who cares? Especially because it's a zombie story. But yeah, man, Dead Island 3, see you in 3 years.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't got much to add to this one.
Now, one game we might see before Dead Island 3. Oh, Casey Hudson, why'd you got to do this to me, bro? Okay, we have a nice long conversation about it.
Let's do it.
Our boy Schreier puts out his thoughts on Blue Sky. Now, I want to emphasize it that way, and I did so in my video because I think he's getting dragged a little bit for not a good reason. I don't know why the press took his thoughts and turned into articles, but they did. And it was stupid, dude. Like, this man literally was speculating on the TL and people were like, oh, that's a report. It's coming after 2030. So he gets blamed. I mean, everyone's dooming now. They're like, oh my God, post 2030. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Cog. Before Casey's follow-up, I was in the camp of like, look, I get it. If you're frustrated, we've had a lineage of Star Wars games show up and disappear for a while. If you're frustrated, it's fair. And you should be frustrated. Like, it is one of those things. This is a dream announcement. You're not stealing my thunder.
Talk your talk.
I'm sorry, man. But
talk your talk.
People are allowed to be upset. I think they're right to be, but I am not there.
Let that man have his joy.
That said, I was not very forgiving of those people who were like, oh my God, what? Because look, dude, when I see a CG trailer from a new team that I've never heard of before, I'm like, you're way off, bro. Like, I'll see you whenever I see you. And I know the roadmap. I know I'm getting KOTOR remake before you. Take your time. So I wasn't too surprised when I started to see Schreier's predictions get picked up, but I was like, guys, like, are we really surprised by this? Well, Casey Hudson steps outside. Now he's talking on his talk on Twitter. He's like, I'm still buzzing from the excitement last night. We're in early development, but we're looking forward to sharing more. Tags the Archinaut Studio Twitter account and quote tweets himself. Puts out the tweet of the year for me, man. He says, don't worry about that not till 2030 rumor. Game will be out before then. I'm not getting any younger. Bro, I see people joking around like, yes, December 31st, 2029. I don't care. It's in the 2020s, bro. I was not expecting the 2020s. This is huge. Now, obviously, we just talked about James Olin.
yes, we just talked about it.
To be fair and just say, hey, look, looking at everything that's happening with ex-BioWare talent, including Casey losing funding for his previous studio in Humanoid Origin, I get that it's like we're putting a lot of faith in the idea that this thing will come out before 2030. I know. However, I did a COG. I've been around and talked to my dev friends.
Yes, you got to go plug.
This was one that pulled me out to, because I don't, not that you do this to them, by the way, but I feel like I'm bothering them because I'm always making content. So I don't always want to tap them on the shoulder and be like, hey, dude, like,
same.
Let me know, like, what do you think about this? But for this one, bro, for the people,
for the specific ones in a while, you'll pull that card once in a blue because you don't want to bother nobody. But when something's bothering your soul, you gotta know. Like I don't. This is what I gotta ask, and I'm with you with that. I do that sometimes.
Texting some homies, going to DMs. I was like, yo, I know you're not working on this game, but look, man. I said, like, well, I have a theory. I said, what do you think about my theory? And my theory was this. I said, look, Humanoid Origin was founded in 2021 in June or July, I think it was. They were working on a Mass Effect-like game, so it's sci-fi. This was Casey Hudson's team, and the project was making great progress. There were no negative reports about it. It was doing fine, but like many teams in 2024 and 2025, funding's very tough to come by. I can speak for that myself. It's really hard to find out there. They lost funding. And because they lost funding, they had nowhere to go and the project just had to go. And that was it. So I asked these developers, I'm talking to them, like, hey guys, like I said, because this is Casey's team, obviously there's legality attached to this, but is it possible if he's building a sci-fi game and they have all these assets, they have a whole library of stuff. And by the way, a lot of this Humanoid Origin team has come over to Argonaut. Strange. But
okay, interesting.
Is it possible that this sci-fi asset library, or even hell, even the general terrain, just building blocks, basic stuff, quest structures, camera work, sequencing tools, whatever it may be. So is it possible that they inherited that library and, have brought it into this new Star Wars project? And I was told, yes, it's very possible. And I think that's what happened. Again, there's legality to it all.
Right.
Like when you come and pitch to them, I'm sure that has to be signed off. Like I'm pretty sure if Casey came to them and said, hey, we have this whole asset library, they probably had to sign that all off over to Lucasfilm and be like, here you go. But that's a lifeline for your team, bro. That's a hell of a lifeline. So I'll put it this way, right? What Casey has done is the most obvious shot in the foot, if not true, because it is not taboo to be like, hey guys, early days, we're taking our time, we're going dark for a little bit. I feel because it is that obvious, this man's got to know something, right? And that's the only reason I'm believing. I'm like, dude, this would be, I know the calendar as we're recording this says 2025. Bro, we're like 2 weeks away from that saying 26. So he's saying pre-2030. 3 years? The studio was founded in July. But look, man, I think there's a lot of pieces from that previous sci-fi game that are going to show up here. And I think that's how they're getting it out quickly. I don't know if that's how it'll end up, but that's my theory. And as I talked to other devs, that's what they were telling me. Like, yeah, it's possible. Obviously, there's the legal hurdle there. It's not a massive one. Like, you could sign it over and just like say it's theirs and that's it. But I don't know. I want to believe. And so Derek Beek wrote in saying, this one's mostly for Maddie. How am I supposed to stay optimistic when it's likely we won't see a new Old Republic game until 2029 at the earliest? And if we're being realistic, probably later than that. I was excited when I first saw the announcement, but I didn't realize how new the studio was. Once I found out that, I immediately became a bit crestfallen. It seems like the past 15 years or so, there's been many canceled Star Wars games, just as many as there have been released Star Wars games. It also doesn't help that the director, Casey Hudson's last great game was arguably 13 years ago with Mass Effect 3. Can you give a man some hope? And Cog, do you think it's ever going to see the light of day? I'll provide some hope here, right?
Let's go.
Casey Hudson shares the blame on Anthem. I do not lay all the blame at his feet from what I have read. And that's my personal stance on it. Yes, it's been a while since Mass Effect 3. He was not involved in Dragon Age. That's not his thing. He was in and out of BioWare a couple of times as well. That studio, as we know, is so fucked. It's crazy. So I put it this way. You can point a finger at Casey as many fingers as everyone else there. I think I think EA was part of the problem. I think Casey might have been part of the problem. I think Dara could have been part of the problem. I think EA Sports, green lighting projects for BioWare was a big part of the problem. I think there's a million things there. So to give you some hope though, on like the wait, I mean, look, before this, you're getting KOTOR remake. Famous last words, but I feel confident in that, man. Like I don't know if it'll be good.
Right.
But you're going to get that. And that's going to be a big holdover. And we already heard now that they're doing a remake 2 right away. So you're getting a lot of Old Republic content over this next 5 to 7 years. And I will be upset if Casey ends up being like, yeah, it's delayed. It's delayed 2030s. Because we've been down this road with Star Wars before. Him saying casual as fuck, like, bro, I can't, fathom a world where a developer finds a new studio. I mean, this would be next level stupid and would earn him a lot of critique from me, is if you found a new studio and you're like putting the gang together in real time and it's holiday season, you're probably just getting started next year. If this is like a from the ground up thing and you're like, yeah, see you in 3 years tops. Like that would be so dumb. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. There's a world where there's a delay, but there's no way that he did that if they don't have something to show. And at that point, you're like, well, if it's going to be out in like 3 years, why not show a little gameplay? I don't know. This was one of those magic trailers, though, where like my hype clouds a little bit of it. It's like, yeah, man, I would trade nothing for this moment. So, you know, I'm curious, Cog, with what Derek wrote in here. Do you see this seeing the light of day? How do you, as someone who's not like me, head in the clouds, I'm living my best life right now, does Casey Hudson deliver on his promise?
I think you got a shot, as the kids would say. I think you got a shot. I am with you. This would be the most bonehead PR move in the history of starting a studio.
Yeah.
To come out and say, hey, I don't have much time, and I know y'all hearing about this 2030 stuff that Jason talking about. Even though when you say Jason, we don't want to talk about Jason. But yeah, we're getting that before that. You're getting that before that. So look, I'm in agreement with you. He knows something. They have stuff in place. They are probably farther along than we think. It is interesting that the studio was just started, but to your point, you don't make a statement like that unless you know something, unless you already have infrastructure, assets, whatever it is.
There's no pre-orders. There's no wish list. Like there's no, the thing, not to interrupt you, but there's no monetary gain for him sustaining this like excitement and being like, yeah, like it's, you know, like if it's far off, like there's no hurting any companies or anyone. It's just like, hey, we'll come back when you're ready. Like, that's why I'm like, is he just telling the truth?
Exactly. This he would be crucified if there's now delay is one thing. You get delayed, okay, that's fine. But like if we come back and past that year, it's not out, then yeah, he's gonna get rightfully dragged. But to me, it would be foolish to do that. So that's why I feel he knows something. My only counter, though, I have one different concern.
I need to hear this. That's the thing.
Different concern is you are a fan of this series. What do you love this series for? Choice and consequence, all the different intricacies that make this game what it is. My concern for you that if it does come out in the timeline, do we get that level of longevity and intricacy and length and not that the quality bar is going down, but is it a smaller scope project if you are dropping in that window? And that's my only thing to say. How does Maddie feel about that if we're, in the length of the original games and it's not as much of this big expansion that we thought? How do you feel about that?
Well, Knights of the Old Republic was not like a huge game. It was huge for its time, but it's like nowadays, like I'm not saying it's easy to do, but it was like a 25-hour game. Like, if FOTOR is in that pocket, which I really don't want to read a headline that Casey Hudson's like, yeah, it's actually 75 plus hours. Like, no, part of the magic of KOTOR is that like limited exposure and like wanting more. I think it's it's hard to get right in games because you could just stop and stand there for as long as you want. It's not like a movie where you you just are forced forward. But if it's a smaller game, and by smaller, I mean still a big game, but like, think of like what happened with Jedi Fallen Order. Like that was a 20-hour thing.
That's what I was thinking. Yep. Okay.
I don't think this is like an epic open planet thing. Like I think this is very much like they said spiritual successor. This is like planets that you're seeing a window of this planet and there's some type of inner planet conflict happening here that's connected to the overarching main plot. And I think you're going to go to like 5 of those and then you're going to have a finale and that's it. And I bet that's what he sold them on. He's like, we're going to do KOTOR again. Like, here's all these planets. I want to do this, and that. Like, I don't know, man. I just feel if it's that size, then this should be completely deliverable. I think a lot of people are looking at this thinking, oh, they're going to do Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Exactly.
By 2030. I'm like, no, I don't think you're getting this. Like, I'm going to man the Ebon Hawk and fly through space. I think like you don't man the Ebon Hawk. I think you just get on that ship and talk to your party members. Like, I think it's very, if they're going to deliver on this timeline, I think it's going to be very KOTOR aligned, like in its design. Except like innovating on those ideas, like the crafting bench or hopefully the polish, obviously being a little better, those sorts of things. But Yeah, I don't know. I remain optimistic because I think, like you said, it is such an obviously stupid thing to do. And
100%.
it would call a lot into question if he was just dead wrong, you know?
Yeah. He this would be tremendous reputational damage. You know, right? We understand he did get smoked for, you know, Anthem on some level, but I agree with you. He's not solely responsible in my career. There's a lot of factors into that whole thing, as we saw through the Jason Schreier reports at what happened with BioWare. And there's a lot to blame there. But I'm with you. I'm okay if he's in this 20 to 30 hour pocket. I'm okay if he is like, yeah, glow up. Let's focus on what do things better and more intricate within that framework. And we're not going to be this 50, 70 hour. We're not going to be open world. Yeah. We're not. And thus we could hit that target. That to me satiates me if that's the end game. And also I think of Obsidian in that way. It's like they know who they are. This is the pocket, AA, this, that, and there. We're not going to try to compete with this other thing. We know what we are. We're going to give you, like how Outer Worlds 2, we're going to give you the most choice and consequence. We're going to do all this stuff within this pocket. That's still a lot of content. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. Just hoping, man.
We need this. We need this.
We do. All right. Next up, Mega Man Star Force Collection. It arrives early 2026, $40, March 27th. If you liked Battle Network, this is this. Speaking of spiritual successors, I didn't realize I put these in order, but yeah, this is a spiritual successor to Battle Network. Very similar combat system, except now you can go to the Wave world, which kind of takes place within the real world, and so it can change the level in real time. It's really cool. I've only played a little bit of the first game, so I'm looking forward to this one. Excited to check it out. But yeah, for my Mega Man fans out there, this will be playing instead of Mega Man 12. Let's be real.
The slander. Damn.
Sorry, Mega Man fans. Kage, any thoughts on this one?
No, that was on you. I'm happy for you though.
Okay. Next up here, Resident Evil fans. The party doesn't stop at Requiem. Right now, Dusk Golem is saying Code Veronica Remake should be announced next year with a 27 release date. And Resident Evil 0 Remake is coming out in 2028. So, yeah, man, they are pumping these fucking things out. It has been a crazy run for Resident Evil. Requiem looks incredible. I think the only blemish you can think of right now with modern Resident Evil is maybe 3 Remake, which apparently isn't even a bad game, just like didn't do as total of a remake as Resident Evil 2 did. But excited to see this. And obviously, Code Veronica is the one that comes up for a ton of people. So I think that'll be a huge announcement for the fan base. Just like a very big victory for them. Any thoughts on the future of Resident Evil, sir?
Dreamcast stand up. We gonna get it, baby. We gonna get it. That was the one we played. No one knew about. Now the world gets it. And I want that remake on that one so much. It's been so long, I've forgotten about it. I hate that. I hate when I play games so long ago, you beat them, and you're like, damn, I forgot so much about it. It's gonna feel like a brand new game. So I'm excited.
All right. This next one is for the Persona fandom. So a lot of people were wondering what is going on with Persona 6, right? Because this is a game that's long in development. Katsuhiro Harada, who is like the director of the last 3 extremely popular Persona games in 3, 4, and 5, worked on Metaphor and did an amazing job with his team there. All the OG Persona teammates are over at his team there. So what's going on with Persona 6? A lot of people were wondering because they thought that would be the big Sega announcement here. Well, Nate the Hate has said on Twitter that the game is not in development hell. And when someone said Persona 4 is being developed, remake is being developed by an external developer called Tosei, for this reason, most of the P studio staff is focused on P6, which began development many years ago, long before P4R. Nate just said, correct. So the focus for P4 remake is not within P Studio proper, which is good. Certainly was hoping that wouldn't be the case and that they would outsource something like that. But that for Persona 6, it's not in dev hell, which honestly has me optimistic because I think like the generational leap in popularity that Persona had with 5 was huge. And I feel like they have to recognize like this is the moment. Like this is the moment. 6, like 5 was already pretty mainstream. 4 really, I think, was super popular, but like 5 just put it in places that it's never been before. Like here, it's a Smash guest character, you know, but I think the spin-offs fell off pretty quickly for it. It just didn't have that resonance kind of like a 4 did. But I think 6 is the moment they can kind of challenge the JRPG throne, right? There's that familiarity. There's that trust. It's the new entry for people. I don't know how they're going to evolve all the Persona mechanics. Is the only critique I really had of Metaphor was is more of like a sidestep in a lot of ways. Like a lot of stuff that I've played, a ton of Persona games is very familiar. I kind of want Persona 6 to be unfamiliar in certain ways, like whether it be combat or it be social life elements, especially social life elements. I hope that
social needs a revamp.
I think it's time. I don't think people will lose their shit if Persona 6 looks and plays like Persona 5 again. And I shouldn't say looks because visually it'll look completely different. But if that same social sim element is going the same way, and the gameplay is still turn-based and there's baton passing and that sort of stuff, I don't think people will be upset, but I think it will be just a slightly bit underwhelming. But I'm hoping with all this time spent that 6 is a real overhaul of like those core features. Like, how are they rethinking turn-based? How are they rethinking social gameplay? And I think if they rethink social in an exciting way, that'll carry the game unto itself. So I'm still optimistic, but not having Hoshino and Meguro and everyone who's been involved in Persona's mainstream success here, it's kind of a scary time to like move on over to a new leadership team for a new Persona game, but they've been on it for a while. So I'm hoping it kicks ass, dude. But what are our thoughts right now on P6? Will Creepy Cog show up for the new high school story?
Yeah, I'm there. I'll be there for this, for sure. 5, obviously, the late edition for me, and me coming back to the series after being there with the OG PlayStation Persona. I'm glad it's not in development hell. That was my concern because, again, we all thought Sega making these bold we gonna be at the game it's in full force. Watch out. I'm like, there's got to be something big IP. I'm thinking Persona's on the list. And no disrespect to the world. We get it. You know what I'm saying? You outside, you're a strong force, but wasn't the force I was expecting. So yeah, like this is what I
was a little surprised it wasn't. Yeah.
Facts. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, Sonic, come on, the Blue Blur. Like these are the names we thought we were gonna get. So yeah, I am happy. I'm just curious as to release window. Also, we can't forget the elephant in the room, Metaphor Royal or whatever.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah.
And that's my concern still before we get P6. They're going to run that back. And like a sucker, I'm going to be there because I do love me some Metaphor. I need that Luis. I need that.
Yeah, those comments they made recently about like there might be a chance those definitive editions are hurting us. Well, I think Metaphor's plans are already set. Like,
yes.
Like, I think this might be we'll see what happens with Metaphor. And then
we'll about that after Metaphor. We do it with Metaphor.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, Cog. One more for good measure. It's time to talk about what we're playing in 2025, sir. As always, I give the stage to you.
The GOAT movie of all time. Terminator 2D. No Fate. Been waiting on this one. Didn't know what to expect. Because, look, I'm from the era, Maddie, of the shameless movie grab, video game hype, money grab.
Yeah.
Low quality, just cashing on your nostalgia, but not putting in quality. Look, this is a pleasant surprise. 2 reasons. One, way more challenging than I thought it would be. That threw me off. Limited continue system. So pretty much, okay, so let's paint the picture. 2D gorgeous, I'm saying gorgeous, 2D classic pixel art. Okay. Think Contra, single player Contra and Metal Slug had a baby.
Oh, okay.
So brutal, bodies lay on the ground, people get shot up, blown up. That part is cool. It's clear as day for the minute you launch this game. This is a love letter to Terminator 2, the movie. They understand the moments. They understand everything that made that movie great, even have musical interpretations of some of the classic soundtrack in it. Now, what surprised me is the length of things they did to fill the gaps between major moments. So, this is not a spoiler, but, obviously with Terminator 2, as you start, a lot of time has passed with now Sarah Connor and now raising John Connor. Yeah. The movie starts with them split apart and stuff like that. And then obviously John Connor's with Terminator, and then they get to Sarah Connor in the mental institution. Bro, the game has the nerve to try to give a backstory of what was going on during it. So they're like, she was raising John And now, you're living in the desert, in the stuff, the life, they fill in the gap with the life prior to moments in the movie. So I'm like, okay, bro. So let's start with the control. And you got your standard shoot, you got your duck, you got your aim. Now, everything's a little clunky. They got this left trigger aiming, directional aiming. You don't have to use it, but it really makes things easier if you use it, because you can shoot people on the top level, down level. You have your think of classic games like Rolling Thunder and Old School Shinobi, where you could jump up to the next level and then come back down, stuff like that. They also have special weapons in the vein of a Contra, some stuff with spread gunshots, but those are usually on a limited ammo kind of basis, heavy explosives you could throw. But the thing where the game really impressed me is you get to the end is the boss encounters. Mechanics. Difficult. Challenging. Like, I had the nerve to play this game on max difficulty, and I had to put it down. I was like, yo, bro, it is no joke. And the thing I like about it is that, like, they also have these mechanics, like when you get to certain section, now you're playing future John Connor, you're fighting T-800s, you're fighting Skynet, you're doing all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And the thing that's dope, bro, they got this mechanic where you can hide behind cover, wait, you know what I'm saying, pop out, do stuff. Like, I was like, okay, bro, has the nerve to be like, you could do certain things to alter the storyline of the movie and get different ending and stuff. I was like, what? Like, bro, pleasant surprise. So right now, I had to take it off because I was taking too long. I was playing on hard difficulty. I was like, man, this thing is killing me. So, I'm up to like a lot of the classic seasons. We're getting closer to T1000 and stuff like that. But bro, this is a pleasant surprise. Many modes. There's also an arcade mode. There's a boss rush mode. Cool. There's multiple. And look, probably not the longest game. It's probably like 4 to 5 hours tops, maybe. But I'm gonna tell you right now, this is well worth. If you're a Terminator fan, this is a good game in its own right outside of the movie. But yes, the love letter to the movie is what does it. My only complaint is the slide mechanic underneath the bullets is a little clunky. It doesn't feel intuitive sometimes to avoid getting hit. And I will say, like, the sound effects and stuff, you're about to die, you're close to termination. This, like, they do little nuanced stuff that, and all the classic scenes, the bike scene with Arnold, with the shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, they got that T-1000 through the mental institution.
They recreate the scene. My favorite scene in that movie is like the nuclear blast that Sarah Connor has like a vision.
Oh, you talk about that thing.
Yeah. And like you see like the skin peeling up. Did they recreate that at all, or
they don't really go that hard with that? Like, you ain't getting all that. But
that's my favorite shot for the movie.
Oh, that movie, that's awesome. Yeah, because I think Cameron even got notified or acknowledged by, I guess, nuclear physicists or something.
He said it's like one of the most accurate recreations or something like that. Yeah,
100%, bro. This is a great game. So shout out to Terminator 2D No Fate. I'm actually impressed because it has replay value and it's going to be something I'm going to be playing a long time. So I picked it up on Xbox, picked it up on Steam. So that's that. And then this was actually just added yesterday. Final Fantasy VII news on our news beat, man. Shout out to the creator. He put on the account of Twitter that obviously the Xbox version is coming and bringing all the they said they bring all the Final Fantasy VIIs to Xbox. But the cool thing is that you can pre-order now for a reduced price. But I didn't know they were doing a demo. So I was like, oh, bro, do that bad boy on. Look, I'm not Digital Foundry. I don't know what the frames. It ran good to me. It looks spectacular on Xbox. I'm playing on Series X console. You're doing the training. I'm in Midgar. I'm doing my thing. Bro, it was a surreal moment because I was like, damn, I love this game that I'm willing to replay this game fully again. Now, they do got, or for people who are scared, they got 2 dad modes that they added that I was not a fan of. 2 dad catch-up mechanic modes for those. It's clear as day they're going to drop these rebirths coming immediately because they were like, if you choose, it's called like normal, and then there's some other thing. I've got the full name of it where it's like you get a level 45 character, and then they got some. What do I say? Like, you know how you got the active time battle system. But they got something where it's like, okay, we'll handle the defense and the offense for you, and you just focus on the commands and you play with this strong character if you want to breeze past this. I was like, interesting. Not that I'm going to do it, but I was like, okay, salute to those who want to catch up and just want to get through this main storyline. So, yeah, shout out to them for even putting something like that. But yeah, man, this thing, it runs great. It runs. Optimized, tested on Ally. Oh, my God, it's gorgeous on the Ally. And it's definitely certified. So yeah, Final Fantasy VII Remake biggest surprise. Final Fantasy VII, the original, the Hogue version.
The Hogue version.
Remember, Hogue don't really care for all this remake nonsense. Hogue was like, you should... Yeah, you know Hogue. We love him, but he's little grouchy dad sometimes. We like grouchy dad.
I understand.
We understand when it's something you love, right?
Yeah.
But for Hogue, they got the original PlayStation Final Fantasy VII port, the original, included in this package as a separate game for download. So if you want to play the OG, it's there. Yeah. I was surprised by that. And then obviously integrate as well. And I think it's like $60 if you pre-order it now. And you get all that stuff, the deluxe package, you get all three and stuff like that. So obviously Yuffie, Integrate is the Yuffie DLC, which I actually did Secret Symbols Plus. I hosted it with Hogue on that when I beat that. So I'm going to be replaying these. Bro, I am living my best. This is my favorite Final Fantasy VII. So I got Terminator, I got Final Fantasy. I'm living my best life. And then I just want to shout out the LSM fam. They showed out for me. I put them on blast last Duke, remember? I was like, I'm doing my Demio. If y'all not in my squad, it's up, and I'm saving the campaign too. So I want to shout out my man Joe LaRusso, Dying Lionheart. You see you, my boy Jimmy V. Ashel Parrott was in the chat. He was ready on standby, and of course the Iron Rook. Bro, those are my brothers. We got through some tough content. We fought these ice trolls. Bro, this boss mechanic was no joke. It had these lanterns. We had to like extinguish to take the shield down, and then we had to work on DPS. Bro, shout out to my man Joe. He's an amazing sorcerer. This man gets the fireball card. He's doing all these AoE damages. Then I got my man Rook, who loves to use the confusion ability to kind of silence and stun enemies or put them to sleep. Then I had my man Jimmy as the archer. He's doing poison. Bro, we was getting busy. Then I had me as the pal. I was like, who need health? Who's dying? And then I could go tank it out. And then, we got it. We did get some feedback though. I ain't gonna put his business out, but one of our group members is colorblind. And in one of the boss mechanics, what happens is, how like you fight a boss and then they let you know before the next turn, the areas that you're standing on is going to be kind of a hazardous area. You better get out of the way. The boss is going to do some AoE that's going to hit you. We were like, yo, bro, get out of that thing in your next turn. He was like, what thing? He's like, yo, you don't see it. He was like, oh, bro, I'm colorblind. I can't see. So I got to get this over to the dev team. We got to have something for the
where's your accessibility settings at? Come on.
Yeah, I got to get this over to resolution. Colorblind lords, they're going to struggle. Bro, he couldn't see it. Like he was just like, I was like, oh, you can't. So we had to help him. Like, no, move over to. The cool thing, though, they have a ping system. So me,
there you go.
I could be like, ping, 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 move to this spot here.
Oh, man.
Focus on this guy here. Everybody
can use
yeah. I ain't gonna put the Lord out there, but you know what I'm saying?
Name and shame, God. Come on.
I ain't gonna do that. That's my homie, you know what I'm saying? But we played, bro, for like 5 hours. Tuesday was. I was like 1, 2 in the morning. We was like, all right, one more kind. We almost there. Yeah. And then we actually had a story beat where it was someone that did a quest. We did a quest for this lizard reptilian race. And then we came back and you had to choose between this person and the sister. And the honorable thing we didn't pick for some reason. We was like, oh, no, we don't trust him. He's shiesty. Come to find out, they was like, you have to pick who's the ruler going to be. And we picked the sister. And she like tries to kill and banish the dude that helped us from the beginning. We're like, oh, no, we picked the wrong thing. So we're dying to know how that quest played out the other way. And the last thing is, the funny thing is, anytime it came to a Baldur's Gate, what you consider a real skill check role, that I had to control, that I was responsible for. It's like, Cog, man, every time you always fail at these checks, bro. Like, come on, they was getting bad. So get this, the game then presents 2 of the hardest checks in the game where I have to roll a 15. So I'm like, I ain't gonna win it. Bro, how come every extremely hard check passed it? Rolling 16, rolling 19. Bro was like, Cog is on fire. He clutched when it comes to the difficult stuff. Bro, we had so much fun with Demio Battleblock, the Frost campaign. I think we're about feels like we're about 50-60% through it because I saved that campaign for them. And because I want to play Group Demio for the first time all the way. Bro, I made the believers. I'm telling you, this the joint.
You're doing good work.
That was my weekend, man. So much fun.
It's funny. My best friend texted me, I think you were in one of their ads.
Yes.
On Facebook. He's like, bro, what the fuck? I was like, I don't know. So hopefully finally getting the Demio bag.
Oh, yeah. No, listen. No bag was given. Full transparency. No bag was given. All I said is that you guys have to do a better job of spreading the word of this game. Because I said, I have no problem with that. And if it comes out,
I'll do it myself.
Listen, I ain't got no, you know me, I love hard. Yeah. So my thing is like, yo, if you got something that I feel is special, then we need to spread the word. So what, in full transparency, what I've done is giveaways. I'm like, hey, I'll do some giveaways on ILP. Come check it out. Go see if you like it. Judge for yourself. And I've made people believe it. So that was the full role of it.
You're a good man. No money attached. How about
normally you gonna give me a bag. I think Ichiban give me a bag. I'm on full transparency. Ichiban, no, you gonna give me that infinite wealth bag for as much as I've been going off for you, and I got to deal with my co-host that be slandering. Oh yeah. I had my Hawaiian shirt on. I was Ichiban, you got to pay that up.
I like the idea of you thinking like, just in case anyone's listening, like, no, you're gonna pay me. Yeah.
Oh no, you're gonna pay me. Yeah, just don't get it. This COG doesn't do all this for free. This was a one-time thing with Resolution Game. Trust me, COG does not do these things for free. There's always something
there's those
involved.
Exceptions you'll make. Like there's a one dev. I'll tell you about it off the show, but it's someone who I deeply respect and love, and they were just like asking me about something with like release stuff, and I was like, all right, I gotta help the homie out now. Come on now.
Exactly. Yeah, I can help spread the word on certain things, but not other than that, you're gonna have to pay for these services.
Absolutely.
All right, so what you got? What you been playing?
All right, I've been playing one thing and one thing only. Admittedly, I slowed out a little bit because my reviews were done, so I kind of wanted to take a breath, focus on getting the content for the year done. So any night I have been playing games, I've wrapped it up with a little Fallout New Vegas. I've been playing this on my PS5 because I am streaming the PS3 version to it. My hope was that this is how my stupid brain worked it out. Okay. Non-tech guru Matt worked it out. I was like, okay, I have Fallout 3 physically, or Fallout New Vegas physically for my PS3. Right. And I was like, okay, I could put that in my PS3. I was like, I wonder if like the streamable version, like, do I get any like current tech upgrades? Like not like enhancements visually or anything, but like, does it just run? Like, is it a little more stable, bro?
Right. Oh no.
No, not really.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's a good sobering throwback, man. Like it really is. This is the first time I played this game without the PC version in probably a decade, more than that. But without mods as well. Like it's crazy. But I love this game, dude. Like it really it has been awesome going for the platinum trophy because I think Fallout has really great platinums for those who are trophy hunters out there. Like I'm trying to get back into it a little bit, but like Fallout 3's platinum was a ton of fun because you had to kind of navigate the karma system at different parts of your level. You had to complete quests. You had to like do certain challenges in the open world map. I love those types of platinums. Fallout 4 was also pretty good, pretty easy though. The only issue with Fallout 4's platinum was the 100% settlement approval. That was a pain in the ass for a lot of people, but from my experience, I got that one really easy. So I got lucky with that one. Yeah. Otherwise, though, New Vegas's platinum's a little, it's tough, bro, because you got to go through all the different branching quest lines. So I got to do Legion, I got to do Mr. House, I got to do Yes Man, NCR. So I got to hit all those. I got to recruit all the companions. The toughest one, though, 30 games of Caravan I got to win. So I got to grind that card name. 10,000 damage with all the different weapon types, like 10,000 with energy, 10,000 with guns, 10,000 with melee, unarmed. Yeah. Those last two with melee and unarmed are going to be a pain in my ass.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just like here for the love of the game, bro. Like I'm just loving being in this world while watching the TV show. But like, I started this a little bit over 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Like I kind of just started revving up the engine and just kind of getting it going like that first session or two. I think this game is rightfully hyped, is how I would describe it. Like it really is. The writing is incredibly good, but you think of it's the world history. I talk about this. I have a 2025 review coming out for this game because I've been just playing it so much, and like the world history of New Vegas, I think, is what gives it such like something you can sink your teeth into. Because like you'll go to an abandoned location, and I think a lot of players, myself included, when I first played New Vegas, are like, what a waste of a location. But then you'll start talking to characters around the world, and they'll be like, no, I'm from there. And then like you start to put together these environmental clues with their stories, and it's a very like enriching tale. I'm at the point now where I'm like in Freeside and I'm running around, and I didn't realize how many cues from this game so many developers have taken. Like this game did such a great job at branching you from like one piece of content into the next. Like I did the quest Bye Bye Love, which you help this prostitute Joanna out of the Gomorrah. And turns out there's this guy, Kachino, who's got her and a bunch of the other girls working there under his thumb. So you help out this guy and get his girl out of there with these other girls. It's like this whole kind of stealth mission. And then when you're going, she's like, by the way, like that Kachino guy is like some serious business. Like, don't mess with them. And then a new quest gets added. And like now, like, okay, let me go check out what Kachino's up to. And it turns into this whole like gang quest line with the Omertas. And like that's what this game does so well, is like you start like at the bottom of the food chain and kind of work your way up. But what I think I love most is that it's very digestible. You just never feel overwhelmed in this game. There's no million markers. There's no like, oh, I'm drowning in content. You know, it's funny because I said to everyone, I was like, yeah, I'm done with these really long games, but here I am playing a long game. But the beauty of New Vegas is it doesn't feel like a long game.
Right.
Every session, I take a big bite out of it. I feel very fulfilled. I feel very happy about it. And like, I'm not going to be on this thing for like 3 months, you know,
Facts.
Like I can chip through it comfortably and know, because I mean, part of it helps that I know this game really well, but like, besides that, it's just like, it's not an overwhelming game. Like I'm taking good pieces out of it each time I play it. And so it's good to kind of have that on the side with like, I think whatever backlog game I fire up like one random day, like a Titanfall 2, where I'm like, I'll just blitz this in a day, probably when I get right on break. But yeah, dude, it's just been awesome coming back to this.
Dope.
Yeah.
This is dope.
Yeah. Like I said,
mess with me and Mr. House.
Yeah, I want to do the Mr. House ending first because I feel like that is the one that Bethesda has taken a look at the most. They said they're going to respect all the endings, so I don't think they're going to give us anything definitive, but I think knowing your Mr. House lore, if season 1 or season 2, episode 1 was anything to go by, knowing your lore is going to help.
Yes.
They're flirting with a cool idea here.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, New Vegas Platinum run is in full effect. For those who are curious, I'll check my app real quick here. What's the trophy percentage looking like here? PlayStation does that thing where there's like folders within folders. So like, like I'll have my overall percentage is really low, and then I'll go inside New Vegas, and it like right now it says 10%, but then I look at base New Vegas and it's 20%. So because of all the DLC I got to get.
That's right.
See, no doubt with all the damage trophies, I'll play all the DLC too. I'm just going for it, dude. It's been long. I've replayed Fallout 3 so many times over the years. I was like, I don't remember the last time I actually did like a full New Vegas deep dive. I'm always flirting with these games because I'm always like playing them, talking about them, recording content of the game for the videos. So I'm always like in them, but this is the first time I'm just like submerged. And it's actually a good time where I'm away from my content. So I'm just doing it for me, which is cool.
Bro, so, perfect time. And then obviously you got the film. Oh, this is you're in a good place.
Like I don't plan on being on it for months, but like if I'm playing this up until the season finale, like that kind of sounds nice. Like just getting the platinum with the finale, you know, that sounds cool. So that's what I've been playing, exclusively New Vegas.
Nice.
Surprise, surprise. All right, Cog. Time for the news. Number 1, Larian in the center of a little controversy. It's a lot of mask off moments for devs right now. Like, it was me too. I did it as well.
Not the Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, it really is the Scooby-Doo villain reveal. If you want to frame it that way. Okay. God, where the hell do you begin on this one? Let me tee us up here because I made a whole almost 30-minute video about it. So I'll try to keep it brief here. Okay, so in light of Larian answering a bunch of questions about the game, like we've learned now, Divinity is turn-based. It's going to have multiplayer support. If you like the combat from Baldur's Gate 3, he's like Sven Vink said, you're going to love the combat in this game. So we got that answered. They talked about early access. We got that answer as well. Like they're probably going to do it. They said they don't know how the industry is going to change, but they're still flirting with that idea. The main quote that caught attention was over at Schreier's the name of the show, man. Schreier had the interview. And we learned that Larian is using generative AI for Divinity, but they have said the game itself contain anything AI generated. Now, instead of reading the report from Jason, he put out his transcript. So I figured I'd read the back and forth between them.
Yeah.
And then give us sort of the follow-up from there of additional information that you may want to know, like what did Sven Vink say earlier this year about AI? What did he say last year about AI? We're going down that rabbit hole, everyone. You know how I do things. So get cozy. You're going to hear me talk for like 20 minutes straight. All right. Schreier said, speaking of efficiency, you've spoken a little bit about generative AI, and I know that's been a point of discussion on the team too. Do you feel like it could speed up production? Sven says, in the terms of generation, like white boxing, yes, there's things, but I'm not 100% sure if you're actually seeing speed ups that much. You're trying more stuff. Having tried stuff out, I actually don't think it accelerates things because there's a lot of hype out there. I haven't really seen, this is really going to replace things. I haven't seen that yet. I've seen a lot of where you initially get excited, this could be cool, and then you say, in the end, it doesn't really do the thing. Everything is human actors. We are writing everything ourselves. There are no generated assets that you're going to see in the game. We're trying to use generated assets to accelerate white boxing. But I mean, to be fair, we're talking about basic things that help the level designers. When Schreier asked about concept art, Sven said, so that's being used by concept artists as an AI. They use it the same like they would use photos. We have like 30 concept artists at this point or something like that. So we bought a boutique concept art firm at the moment that everybody was reducing them because they were going to AI. In our case, it just went up. If there's one thing that artists keep on asking for, it's more concept artists. But what they do use it for is exploration. And so Schreier says the other thing I've seen being used for more and more is placeholders, stub dialogue. And Sven says, well, yeah, so it depends on the scripter. In our case, what we do is white boxing means that the scripts put stub text in there. Some scripters will probably use a chat GPT. Some will write it themselves. It's really up to them. So key term here, key moment, it's optional. Schreier says, but you found that it's not actually speeding things up. It's just kind of allowing more experimentation. And Sven says, well, in the sense that it speeds it up because your experimentation is broader. But I mean, it's not as if their dialogue are subtly being written faster. And on the contrary, and it's not as if you're seeing the scripting going faster. What's happening is there's just more stuff being done. But I mean, if you've used ChatGPT, it helps you organize things, gets you a faster, and Schreier interrupts him saying, until it screws up. And Sven says, right, you will always have to alter it yourself. And I mean, like, I'm not a native English speaker, so it's easier for me to make my phrases without mistakes. So it helps with that. And then continuing on here, they bring up writing company emails. And Sven says, no, I mean, like putting it in there to see, okay, this is the clean version of my text. So what's happening is I write with worse grammar now, and then I use it to clean up my text, and then I have to go over it again to clean it up. And Schreier says that seems like it would take more time. And Sven says, yes, I know. I have the feeling like my phrases are better. Schreier compliments his English, to which Sven says, I think experimentation, whiteboxing, some broader whiteboxing, lots and lots of applications and retargeting and cleaning and editing. These are things that really just take a lot of time. So that, I thought, were you just smirking right now?
Yeah, I was having fun with this. I love this topic.
So that allows you to do more. So there's a lot of value there in terms of the creative process itself. It helps in doing things, but I haven't seen the acceleration. So that's the third time he said that now.
Yeah, acceleration.
Yeah. So I'm really curious to see, because there's all these studios that said, oh, this is going to accelerate. If you look at the state of the art of video games today, they're still in their infancy. Will they eventually manage to do that at a large scale? I don't know how much data centers they're going to need to be able to do it. And Schreier says, it doesn't seem like it's causing more efficiency, so why use it? Great question. Sven says, this is a tech-driven industry, so you try stuff. You can't afford to not try things, because if somebody finds the golden egg and you're not using it, you're dead in this industry. Schreier says, okay, but the downside, though, is that it's so poisonous, controversial to players, to artists, to creative people in a way that other tech isn't. Maybe Photoshop used to be like back in the day. And Sven says, I think you would find the same argument back in the day for a lot of things, right? Anything that has been automated has always been considered. I think the part of the job of this job is to make sure that you are competitive and state of the art. So if you don't look at the state of the art, you will eventually regret it. That's going to be even worse for developers. So that's the transcript. That's the conversation right there.
Bar for bar. Love it.
Bar for bar. Wanted to provide that so people know what he said now.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I have to drink some water.
I
wet my whistle. We got more. Woo. Now, I want to go to Sven's response on Twitter.
Yes.
He blows up.
Yes.
He's very matter of fact. He says, holy fuck, guys. We're not pushing hard for or replacing concept artists with AI. We have a team of 72 artists, of which 23 are concept artists, and we are hiring more. The art they create is original, and I'm very proud of what they do. I was asked explicitly about concept art and our use of Gen AI. I answered that we use it to explore things. I didn't say we use it to develop concept art. The artists do that, and they are indeed world-class artists. We use AI tools to explore references, just like we use Google and art books. At the very early ideation stages, we use it as a rough outline for composition, which we replace with our original concept art. There is no comparison. He links an article to GameSpot saying, I talk about how we use ML here if you would like to know more. We've hired creatives for their talent, not their ability to do what a machine suggests, but they can experiment with those tools to make their lives easier. So what does he say in the article that he links? This is from April 2025. I actually covered this, and I'm surprised this is now relevant. Because when I talked about it, I was like, there's one part in here where I'm like, any other person says this, and this is like, oh boy, Ubisoft's at it again. So understandably, there's a lot of trust that's been thrown Larian's way, and it's being tested right now, as I'll get into. So when asked about machine learning, I think describes it in a good way. He says they use machine learning systems to help automate game development tasks that nobody wants to do. It's the obvious things like a motion capture cleaning or voice editing or something very specific, retargeting. So there's some consistency there. He says, so that is basically if you play with different species, you want to be able to reuse an animation on a different species that are different in size. And then they're doing certain interactions with others. For these purposes, machine learning works really well, he said. Larian is also embracing the technology for what is called whiteboxing, which is the term for how the studio like Larian iterates on ideas rapidly. Whiteboxing is essentially the stage before you do the real implementation, he said, noting that using machine learning can help speed up the process. But for his money, the most exciting implementation of machine learning is when it can be used for new gameplay elements. However, it's still early days, and Larian is, quote, not there yet, end quote, or even close. But it's an area that Vink is excited about because it could help the studio implement new RPG ideas faster. He said, for an RPG developer, what you really want is something that helps with reactivity to agency, he said. So permutations that you did not foresee, reactions to things that the player has done in the world, they will certainly augment the gameplay experience. He does mention that there could be red flags there. Of course, there are fears of people with machine learning and AI systems taking jobs, but he said they're hiring more people, not fewer, thanks to the new technology. He says it's always going to be people that are going to make a difference. And so for us, it's super clear that we're investing heavily into the team and the human touch that's being added to that. With more automation, human workers are freed up to create more, which in turn leads to the possibility of making more complex things, he said. When complexity goes up, things start getting really interesting. So it's fair to say that the games that are being made today are arguably more complex than they were in the past. The faster you can iterate, the faster you can get to a certain result. And the tightening, if I can read, holy crap. And the tightening of those pipelines should allow you, in theory, to make your games in a more efficient manner. Automation with machine learning AI is a huge thing, he says. People may not be aware of how much time an animator spends on stuff they don't want to work on. As such, thanks to automation, a lot of time is spent working on the creative stuff. Bink says that it's the wrong attitude to assume that automation will replace various people and departments, because automation should, in theory, allow people to do more of what really matters and less of the stuff they don't really want to do. That's not necessarily cost reduction, but it's going to be an increase of ability, which is a good thing. So that's him earlier this year. Pretty consistent across the board. You might notice a couple of, I think, changes that I can break down a little bit here. Mm-hmm. Last one here, and Kyle, go kick it to you so I can give it a rest.
you
March 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Fans at GDC gives a talk. AI comes up, gets interviewed by Eurogamer afterwards.
Okay.
Here's what he has to say. I can only tell you how we're looking at it. So we certainly don't see a replacement for developers, but we do see it as something that allows us to do more stuff. So there are these things like I talked about the quantity of cinematic notes that we had to handle in the GDC talk. we have this thing for one-liner NPCs. There's not necessarily a creative accomplishment to be had by putting the camera on a singular NPC that only has a couple of notes. I'm very happy for AI to handle that. There you go. There's a little, the NPC barks, right?
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
We're not going to do that for the very complicated scenes because there, the artistry is going to shine through. So there's uses for it. Where I see the use for it is, but it has not really been there yet, is to augment the reactivity and dialogue. So you would, for instance, have writers and a scripter and cinematic designer and everybody that goes with it. You would have them make their entire scene, and then you would augment some reactivity into it to things that you've done before. So it is about, for instance, let's say it's a guard talking about a murderer that's free in the city. We don't have to foresee all the possible people you could have killed in the NPC's lines. But they could be talking about that, right? And say, if it's like multiple people, they could say, oh my God. And it's like literally a serial killer. And then if you arrive there as a player, that would feel good, right? But you would still lace that into your overall web. So I do see it as an additional tool that you could put on top of the things that are in the game. And we certainly are doing experiments with that. But as I said, it's still far from being usable in that sense. But I can imagine in the same breath, interesting choice here, by the way, said that you make a science fiction game where you say, well, there are robots walking around, so they'll talk like robots. Okay, well, that will make some sense. So what you're seeing here, I think, is a pretty, for the most part, consistent stance on it. I've always found some of the things they talked about, the RPG mechanics, writing, gameplay, a little bit scary. I don't like even that the one-liner NPCs get automated barks. I'm always a little even iffy on that because now we're getting into that. They can argue is not creative, but to me, that's something very visible to me. I have so many thoughts on this, dude. It's such a nuanced topic because you put it best for multiple years. You said one day there will be that team. You've played something you love that you know this is the team whose every game they make, I want to play. And for many of us, especially in a post-Baldur's Gate 3 world, Larian is that team. Well, Larian is planning to use generative AI for their next game. Gene got in the mix. He was pointing out how we just learned Expedition 33 used generative AI. We knew it used it for some placeholder textures that slipped through, but they also used it for things in engine that we don't really know much about. It creates a little bit of doubt in sort of what is the human touch and what is the automated touch. If the automated touch simulates the human touch, it's a big conflict. And it kind of, in a game like Expedition 33 that just swept the Game Awards, you kind of look in the mirror like Cog has said for years and been like, well, for me, I'll speak for myself. That's one of my favorite games of all time.
Facts.
Is it not anymore? It is like a stain that you can't get off. And you're like very conflicted on it if you care.
Yeah.
So, Cog, we have write-ins. And I'll kick to you.
Yes. Man.
Young Colin accidentally cancels Photor and Kotor. That's it.
Yo, that name.
Hello, Maddie the Snowman and Cog the Drummer. So, Larian is very pro AI. This was known, however, it seems to have reached a breaking point this week with controversy about the team kind of maybe being forced to use it with concept art. I personally find this a slippery slope. What happens if the AI concept is actually stolen from someone's work, a la Bungie? Why, out of all the people, Sven Vink seems to be obsessed with it while his team seems to be displeased? Anyways, Merry Christmas, gentlemen. Ho, ho, ho. Meanwhile, Mr. Scott, if you're nasty, writes, Dear Duke Brothers of Carnage, I am very curious to hear your opinions on Larian Studios' use of AI and the blowback they're getting over their past comments on AI. Personally, I think it's way overblown, but I'm an AI guy. I want to hear from the Dukes, especially Mr. Anti-AI himself.
Oh, Lord.
What are you talking about? Have a generative day, gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Scott. Thank you, young Colin, for writing in. Cog, take it away. How are we feeling about what Larian is doing here? One of the industry darlings.
Yes.
Stepping out and saying, I'm doing it, or using Gen AI.
Yeah, this is a moment. This week was explosive. You know it's explosive when Jason has to, I don't want to say the word backtrack, but extra clarify because
context.
Jason is a guy who stands on business with his reporting and rarely adds any. It's like, hey, it's in the article, whatever. But I think because I from what I know of Jason, I've met Jason a few times and I have no issue with him. It's just that, he stands on his reporting. He's very prideful. And I know his stance is on certain things. And I know he's extremely anti-AI, which is fine, right? My thing is, even reading the article, the argument can be made that he was leading the witness. It's like, yeah, so that's terrible, right? That's awful. And Sven didn't, he provided counter arguments and he provided use case arguments. Mm-hmm. And I think what happened is, yes, in Jason's defense, only these things got clipped and then it blown out and it was way more bigger things in your article. I get that. But we have to go back to what I've always said. One day there is going to be a game you love, a studio that is beloved, one that you have in the highest regard, that you feel is virtuous. And you go, oh, wait, them too? And thus becomes the moral conundrum, right? How do we handle it? How do we process that, right? You know what I'm saying? Because it's
I'm picturing my pen's on fire, like, and thus begins the moral conundrum.
Right? It's interesting. And I was surprised because I didn't know, like, I knew about Claire Expedition. I knew about Arc Raiders. And this was a different thing because they did, the voice actors that they used for the AI they were paid, they agreed to it, right? It was all good. No, but it's always going to be like company that we don't like that uses it, we are going to vilify. Our gamers are going to vilify. Now we're going to see where y'all at, because I knew this day would happen. So now, and then shout out to Gene, who correctly signal boosted Expedition 33's placeholder usage, right? And some may say, Cog, it's a nothing burger. They didn't fire artists. They just use it as a placeholder. Fine. But the use case is growing. Generative AI people are finding more creative ways to do it. And I think ultimately when it comes down, I'm just going to simplify this. I think it ultimately comes down to people are fearful, the trust in the company and how it's utilized, and then the wrong people continuing to use it as an excuse to then monetize and then remove jobs and remove the human expression. I get it. All I'm trying to say is it is a tool, and clear as day, Larian has found use cases that they think really improve development. And as he said, like jobs that people don't want to do. Now, this is where I agree with you, where it gets into the gray. I was surprised to hear about, we had an NPC that do this, that, and the third. Yeah. NPC voice. Yeah. That he do that. He says this, that, and the third. It's just one line. You see how it starts? Yeah. Right. Right. And I get it. I'm always for the further the advancement of the games industry as far as features, technology, and gameplay mechanics that we go, whoa, that's dope. Right. And ultimately, this is my real opinion on it. Gamers are going to decide. Right. Now we have a vocal, educated subset of gamers who are like, bro, that ain't it. Get that the F out my game. Mm-hmm. Fair. Mm-hmm. Fair. I don't want to see any of it. It blurs the line of you now taking jobs from people and artistic talent. Fair. But again, what we got to realize, I always tell people, the vocal minority versus the mass majority that consumes product. And they are going to say, oh, no, that GTA, I don't care what you say. I'm buying that. Or that Baldur's Gate, Divinity look fine to me. So what? They got, they're dudes. It's more of them than y'all. And this is the corporate cog talk. They're always going to tell you the market is going to dictate. It's the same thing I've been preaching where we watch, you see the deep fakes and dudes, you got 50 Cent putting things and Diddy, and they got all types of AI faces on people and doing stuff. And kids are like, ha, 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 this is great. And we're like, this is slop. This is trash. What the hell is going on? Yeah, right? Yeah,
sure.
It's a weird time. All I will say is this. The last thing I will say as far as, development thing. I get it with the tools and the tasks that no one wants to do. I get it with advancing the stuff. I guess for me personally, what bothers my soul is jobs. I'm always in the camp of developer job. And unfortunately, the more this happens, I do think it's just inevitable.
I want to like, but I think.
Let me give you an example. I'm seeing jobs now. It's just training AI models.
Wow, really? I guess I shouldn't be too surprised, but yeah.
Just come in here, we're gonna use your talent and just help make our stuff more efficient.
Yeah,
and they're paying very good money. We're in that skill set change, bro. Let me tell you how scary it is for those who are still fighting, y'all know I'm a lazy Duke when it comes to my preparing meals. Shout out to Rook. Everybody, addict, they clown me. Come home from a long day, did 6 podcasts. I don't want to cook nothing. I'm like, all right, let's open up that Uber Eats app.
Yeah.
I'm a little lazy today. I owe myself. I'm going to get me some whatever, Red Lobster today. Open up that app, Maddie. Autonomous driver could send this to you. No tip. Right? Really? Bro, now it's to the point. Before it used to be optional.
Wow.
I'll be like, no, I don't want autonomous driver. No, matter of fact, in the beginning, no, I take it back. In the beginning, because remember, I'm a techie, I wanted to see.
Yeah,
like, really?
I was going to say, there's no way you had to try.
I take it back. Correct. You are correct, man. You know me better than I know myself. The first time I said, ooh, what's this?
You got into that Uber in San Francisco, right?
Yes, I got into I'm the first dude to do the Waymo car. King said, you're crazy. I would never do. I thought you was going to die in there. I had to see it. Yeah. So I said, okay, Uber Eats, autonomous. Let me get my Chinese food. This is a store. I was like a block or two. It's a great Chinese restaurant, 2 blocks away. I'm like, that's a short distance. That's a good test. Bro, I came out there. It was like, it looks like a cooler or a six. It looked like the Mako from Mass Effect in cooler form with an antenna on it. It pulled up in front of my house. I'm like, how am I going to get it? Then they say, all right, unlock it with your code. It was like a shutter door metal thing. It unslide. When I put the code, it recognized it.
Really? That's crazy. I'd never heard of this.
I'll send you a picture. It blew my mind. My food was delivered by a mini Mako.
That's crazy.
I'll send you the video. Bro, we are in the time. We're here. Skynet's here, bro. So I got my Chinese food. It was warm. I said, okay. Now, one time I did it, and this is when I got mad. One time I was hungry. Now, I'm at it, clowns me. He's like, Cog, stop paying for $3 extra for priority delivery to get it faster.
Yeah, that's the biggest scam. I never do that shit.
He said, Cog, you're a clown for paying for that. I was like, all right, but I'm hungry and I'll need it now. I don't want them dropping my stuff off. And my thing is 5 stops along the way. I want to be the first stop, right? Yeah. So I said, okay, autonomous driver, no tip. I'm going to pay less money. Bro, I'm looking at this thing. It's supposed to be 2 blocks away. It stood on 1 block for like 20 minutes. I'm like, did someone kick this thing over?
Yeah.
Run over in the middle. Where the F is my food? I was so hot. It finally came. No explanation for why it was like almost 30, 45 minutes late. I'm furious, bro. So that's what I'm trying to say. So basically what I'm trying to say is, as I've gotten more, as it's going on, before, it used to only pick routes that were within my immediate proximity. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Now they're picking things that are like a mile away and telling me that an autonomous driver is going to do it. And I'm like, I don't trust that, because how long it's going to take? Basically what I'm trying to say, the moral of the story is, habitual line stepping with technology is going to continue. And we have to be careful of virtual signaling and saying, I would never, because your favorite going to do it. And this is where we are. And it's up to the gamer, 1, to make that personal decision for themselves. 2, to hold them accountable as far as job and signal boost, right? And 3, obviously, we do know there are just some corporations that are clearly going to try to do this for not the benefit of the creative process and just about profit. Rant over. I just wanted to give that perspective. So me, yes, I am in my told y'all so mode. Your beloved is out there. Y'all beloved is out there doing it up. And y'all gonna and my question again, y'all gonna boycott the game now? Y'all gonna do the same thing y'all was doing to all these other companies y'all know? I just want to see, because get ready.
These last 24 hours, my good friend Lord Cognito's been rent-free in my head. I was like, this guy fucking read the future. Like, I literally had that moment of like, am I really gonna step away from them? I'll walk everyone through what I'm thinking.
All right, talk to me.
I think most of what they have listed as their current uses, company emails, white boxing, dude, no one gives a fuck about any of that. You're not going to see any of that. Like, white boxing is so early, like, you're not going to see that. Like, that's not will it slip in? You're just not going to see it. Concept art, I gotta be real. This is not like a boycott moment for me, but concept art is so foundational. And I don't think it's, as some people have tried to trivialize it, like, oh, it's just a Google search. I'm like, no, it's just not. Like, concept art. Okay, I'll tell a story about our own team, because I think to me context, it's important to get people's minds around why I think it's foundational. Granted, we're working on new IP. We don't have a library of concept art because let's start off with the positive thing first. Okay. Because I think Larian deserves a benefit of the doubt is where my head's at. They've earned this trust. They have 20 plus years of fantasy concept art. It's very possible they've trained their own model with their own concept art. I talked to Ken Levine for an interview. He said they trained a model for Judas lore, Gemini. So these companies are training their own models, even small teams. Like Ken's team's not massive. So they're training their own models for their own purposes, their own needs. I think when people immediately, I mean, in fairness, Sven does mention ChatGPT, but I think when people think AI, I think they're thinking these companies are just going onto a public prompt and pounding it in. And that's very possible. What we'll get into, no doubt, is like, it's a game of trust.
Yes.
That's what it's unfortunately coming down to. And even for companies like Larian, there's still that, like, you cross that line. It's like, oh, because we've seen so many oopsies. Auto, Call of Duty, Xbox, like, oops, wasn't meant to be there. Or, yeah, it's optional, you know, but we're pushing heavily into it. So for my story, concept art, when we first started working on our game, and Henry, the guy who wrote it at the start of the show, can testify to this, we tried to take a more expedited way around it because we were thinking to ourselves, sketch make. So instead of, I didn't have the money. We were a team of like 2-3 people. So we didn't have all these pieces because it was so new to us. Not Henry, he'd been around for a while, but like it was so new. It's like, let's see if we can get by on our own. You know, Henry's like a multi-tool, so he can do a lot of shit. So it's like, okay, sketch, make this, character sketch. Is that good? Okay, make him, make her. Here's what I'm thinking for the environment. Sketch. Okay, let's do it. As the project grew and as we got deeper into development, we had no concept art, right? And this isn't like mega deep into it. So eventually we're like, all right, let's try to get someone in who can focus on that. We tried that because again, my budget's tight. These are not like professional level concept artists. These are like friend of a friends or artists in different disciplines that are looking to try game development out. You start to learn a little bit about workable concept art. Like I can look at this and model off of it. Like proportions have to be right. Scaling has to be correct. There's so much more that goes into it rather than looking at it and getting a vibe, which is a big part of this though, that I'll talk about. But we skirt the line on that for a while. Again, it was like if there's one big lesson I learned, it was this. I was like, we skirted the line on environmental concept art for way too long because eventually as the project grew, we got to this point where I was the one with the brain who when I say with the brain, I mean, I understood what this thing was in my head, but I cannot convey that to anybody outside of words on a paper. Here's character documents, here's lore sheets, here's this, here's that. But no one can look at a single thing that we all can and be like, that's this thing, right? You know, that is tough to build expansive environments off of, right? Where you have this vision of here's the touchstones, here are the games I'm thinking of, here's what I want this to be like, everyone gets that. But if you don't have that centerpiece where all our brains unite, nothing, right? That you're left with nothing and you stagnate, you slow down. And guess what? We started to speed up when we started to do more concept work. So it's foundational. And that's anyone could tell you we went about it the wrong way. I'll take my L on that completely. It was a valuable lesson learned. With that though, and this whole concept process, at least in our case with new IP, it is the very foundation of the idea coming to life. And that has to be unquestionably original because everything is built upon it. It is your ground level. It is like this location or this character or whatever it may be, this prop that is so foundational that I don't equivalent it to you went on Google and searched and made a mood board, or you made a PureRef file and kind of strung all these images together into like a collage and you're kind of photo bashing it. Like that's very different in my opinion versus generating an image and looking at it going, close. Not quite like that though. I just think when you start to bring that in, now it's like, whose work was that? And what you can't get away from now, unfortunately, unless they turn the other direction, is what I always call the stain. It is that irremovable thing on your clothes where you're just like, no matter what, I can't get this off. It's just there forever. And the stain, small or big, will be determined over time. But the stain is now this because it's like, you've spent all these years working on a thing, and what people might end up having is looking at Divinity and going, well, what's real and what's fake? The problem with that I don't fully blame the developers, as AI has been used in such an invisible way that no one sees the tangible benefit in game development. We can only speculate what it is based on what they're saying. Everyone's talking efficiency versus replacing developers versus it'll help us ideate quicker, those sorts of things, right? Versus it's optional. No one really knows though, right? Like it's just this coin toss. It's this game of trust. Mm-hmm. And I think because of that, that's where we kind of get wrapped up in all of this. It's like, okay, now I need to lend my trust over to Larian to use this in an ethical, responsible way. But because it's so invisible, I don't know what is or isn't, is this tool being used for? Did this whole game start off on like a AI generated image? And I know this sounds very extreme for what it is, because again, I hope people are paying attention when I start off saying the other use cases they mentioned. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about placeholder effects, because they're probably using that to build the quest skeleton. So yeah, just throw in the word like fuck in there and just use that throughout an entire quest chain to make sure that it's actually like functional before you start putting the creative stuff in there, the dialogue, the interactions, the branches, that sort of thing. Like, sure, why not? White boxes, sure, why not? But concept, I'm like, that if that starts at that level, it kind of bleeds. It walks a line. But like we talked about, this is one of my favorite RPG developers. It's one of my favorites of all time. Like the GOAT.
Game is the GOAT. Like, that game is crazy. Yeah.
And it is that moment where, okay, when I look at that versus something I have a very strong opinion on, where do I end up? And where I settled was this.
All right, talk to me.
I obviously am not very pro AI. I like Bruce Straley's take on it. He basically said something along the lines of like, we're not using AI right now and we're going to use it for, he's like, I don't know how long I'll be able to say that for. Because at a certain point, this might become so well integrated that you're stupid for not using it. And that's the thing that I stopped myself on. I was like, okay, I need to catch myself here, because I know this is like that fork in the road. It's like you either go extremist and be like, fuck everything, or you're like, okay, this is an inflection point. One of my favorites is using it. Let's take a step back and let's see how this goes. And if it goes terribly, it's all the more reinforcement for the argument I've been making for years. If it goes well and it's used ethically and there's no AI generated stuff in there, then guess what? Larian earns my trust more so, because now the human hand's all over this game and I don't have to see all of that AI generated crap before. The problem though that I just really have with AI is simply that a lot of people equivalent it to a new technological revolution. I think that's fair. And I think that's honestly correct in a lot of ways. But when they start to connect it to art and they start to use Pixar as an example, I was talking to Locke about this, because like Pixar came up like, you know, here's this new computer animation and people are like, oh my God, artists are out of a job now. This is the future of art, but it's not. Right. But the difference was you could look at a thing like a Toy Story and go, that's a computer generated image. That's a computer animated film. You knew, versus a real actor or actress or whatever it may be. You could look and tell. And because of that, and because it didn't remove jobs, it became more accepted. Right. Now, AI, as you mentioned, Cog, with those job listings, I think might be on the same path, which is why I say it's kind of like that same tech revolution. But the difference is that it's not like I'm going from standard definition to high definition. Right. It feels all very back end. Like we used AI with NVIDIA to enhance your frame rate. This is just happening off here. FSR, this is just increasing your resolution. AI upscaling. It's all this little bonus stuff that doesn't really feel necessary. And the problem that this industry is running into until someone steps up and shows it is that I think Larian would be immediately accepted if they could be like, here, without AI, this, which looks and feels and runs and plays differently than anything you've seen before, this would not be possible. But what you have is a lot of this, like a lot of yapping, and a lot of, it will change things, but not a lot of what to show for it, you know? And that's where I get tripped up. I'm like, again, my conclusion is benefit of the doubt. They're one of my favorites. They've made consumer-facing choices their whole company lifespan, at least since I've become a fan of them in 2014. Outside of the Stadia deal, that was the only time I thought Larian went a little left, and they've even admitted themselves that was a stupid decision. So I think they've earned the benefit of the doubt. I can give them that much. If this was an Xbox or even a Bethesda, I would probably be singing a different tune. But it's Larian. And so, yeah. But I'm saying that because Larian's earned my trust. They've spent 10 years fostering goodwill. You know, and that can get eradicated quickly. But I have to see. And that's the difference between them and like a Ubisoft, where I'm like, I know you're not going to use it responsibly because you haven't before. And you don't, in the ways you've talked about it, do not sound like something that I would want to play. But Larian does make games that I do want to play. Now, if they start flying close to that gameplay, dialogue, like they're talking, bro, that's going to be another inflection point. And I think that's the best you can do right now. It's going to be principle based. Like, that's kind of where I settled. Like, you look at it and you go, what is this company doing with this? You know, if it's on that level of ethical behavior, which for me to some extent it is. It's like, we're talking art, guys. Like, it's one thing if we're talking automating bullshit tasks, which is what Larian mentioned, but that's a different tune now, because it went from tasks and things we don't want to do, which I think their use cases were great examples. And then they went from that into, well, you know, gameplay, agency. I was like, okay, we're still a ways away from that. And now what's slipped in all of these comments I read was now the new edition is concept art. And what you see from my point of view is the slippery slope of AI. Not that Larian's becoming this AI beast company. I'm not fucking framing them like that. That's ridiculous. But
I got you.
I do see how gradually it goes from one to the next, to the next, to the next, and like what it can become as it becomes more acceptable. I think if you're looking at what's the loss today, I don't think it's Larian. I think the loss are developers around Larian that are irresponsible because they have now been given the lane. It's not Larian's fault. Right. If they didn't do it, someone else would have. Right. But there are going to be a lot of developers looking at this that are disingenuous, mean-spirited. I look at Call of Duty where they want to sell you AI-generated crap that probably no one worked on and monetize their games with it. Their developers are going to be like, look, if they can't get by, this is the industry golden child. If they can't get by, no one is. Let's just fucking go for it, dude. They can't yell at all of us. No, not, you know, I know the ideal way of looking at it. Maybe when I was younger, I would have been like, oh, they're all going to walk back. If Larian can't get over, but they've invested so many resources in this. And I imagine part of this AI investment, dude, is to secure funding. You know, you got to fund your projects. Larian's a business at the end of the day. And I imagine with everyone being so pro AI, being like, yeah, we have our own AI tools, makes a company, for some reason, these companies' eyes light up and go, oh, really? And that might get you some money being like, okay, yeah, we've automated some of our systems. We're an efficient company. Right. So, yeah, I obviously had a lot to say on it, but man, I just, it definitely is a crossroads moment for me, you know, because big AAA, I don't think has provided any appealing benefits. I look at Copilot. I look at Ubisoft's like AI generated script writing shit. Like I look at all of this, I'm like, I don't know, man, like this, none of this sounds like enhancements. It sounds like replacements, maybe not for people, but for the stuff people do. Right. And especially in this last generation, I feel games have really struggled to have a soul. You know, they've really struggled to stand out in a lot of ways. And that was before the gold rush. Now we're in that and people are actively using it. And I worry a little bit about what games can turn out feeling like and looking like. I hope it is the revolution, but it just does not seem as immediately obvious as all the other technological revolutions that we've pointed to in human history, where we're like, yep, that's the thing we want. We want electricity. Yep. That light bulb is fucking crazy, dude. Like I don't see the light bulb in this right now. And I want to, but I'm not there. I'm not trying. By the way, it's not emotional, Maddie. I'm just, this is actually me trying to be like very fair. I'm like, I just want to see it because everyone's telling me, dude, like
fire it is.
This is the truth. We couldn't do this without this. I'm like, awesome. What is it?
Show me. No. And I love your example of, use case, right? Which is like, okay, this is Baldur's Gate 3 without said thing.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have been able to do it because of this. Or the game, from an efficiency standpoint, wouldn't have been as good. It takes longer. Yeah. And I get it. I totally understand. I think that's fair. I think the key statement is what he said in that transcript. When Jason pushed back and said about AI, hey, it doesn't seem like this is causing more efficiency. So why use it? And Sven says, and I quote, this is a tech-driven industry. So you try stuff. You can't afford not to try, because if someone finds the golden egg and you're not using it, you're dead in this industry. That's the key line to me, because at the end of the day, because it comes out, this is a business. And if you can't get this product out, and people have come up with a way to still maintain quality or still put out these amazing products, and they're doing it in half the time that you're doing it, and they're out to market, you're done. So in Baldur's Gate case, I'm looking at their story, right? What was it, Kickstarter or something like that? It was a very magical, pure kind of story, right? And I'm just thinking, let's just say, Studio B has their Baldur's Gate, right? And they were coming up at the same time, and they hit to market before Baldur's Gate 3, utilizing tools and all these things. And gamers can't really tell the difference, and gamers look at it like, yo, that's fine. Because I always tell people at the end of the day, again, we are very intelligent and we're tapped in, me and you. We know what's going on, right? But you got to think of it from the casual gamer perspective. He sees a trailer, he sees a gameplay moment. He does not know that concept art came from blah. He's going to look at art. He's like, yo, that looks fire. Bro, did you see that? Look how the background, oh my God, that X is how they did that planet. He don't know where the source of it. And that's, you know what I'm saying? That's the conundrum. Now, this game, I'm just using Exodus example. Exodus, please don't come for me. I'm just saying, Exodus comes out first. Baldur's Gate 3, you know what I mean? That's the thing. And that's the marker we in. And then the last thing I was going to say is just like, and I said this a couple of Dukes back. I'm not going to use you as an example, but I'm going to say small studio. Yo, you ain't get the funding. You can't afford to have things on the payroll. Just use this tool, bro. Like, you can pump out. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
I can see a use case. I mean, I'm not going to throw Expedition completely, but I can see a use case where it's just like, yo, these teams are going to use it because it's like, yo, we could compete with UB if we do this. We could compete. We could get our stuff out. I'm telling you, there's going to be people, right? So that's where it gets interesting. Yeah. And then the purity argument comes into it, right? Again, are we going to support this if this is being utilized, or if we feel there's no artists are not being hired, and especially in the voice acting and the art, like they're under fire. Let's just be clear. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat that. This is serious. So I guess the final thing I'll say on a positive note, which is that the only thing I can hope for is the protections. I believe our man from who played Asterion from Baldur's Gate, he put something out there. He actually came at Arc Raiders just recently. I'll give you
I did see that. Yeah.
He I don't know if you saw that one. And he kind of was like, look, I get it, but now that you've made all this money, I'm gonna send you the link right here so we could be on time and with the quote. That now that you've done this, and I'm gonna send it to you right now. There you go. He's like, yeah, you got the money. He's an Astarion's voice actor, says games like Arc Raiders that use AI voices should re-record line with real performance once they become successful. You've got the money now. Spread the wealth. It would definitely do a lot of good for the actors. Now, the counter argument would be like, but bro, the actors already agreed to give their voices for the AI model. You know what I'm saying? And they got their bag already. So this is where it gets interesting. So, yeah, it's a wild time. We are here, and like I said, it's going to be a lot of gray and moral checking of ourselves on what we support, especially if the ones that we deem are the virtuous, the good guys who do things the right way are now utilizing this technology.
Yeah, I think my final thoughts are on what you brought up about the kind of can't be left behind tech statements, because I feel like that reads like an Xbox quote. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like, big publisher in video games. Larian, you were kickstarting games for like the two of your last three games. I don't remember if Baldur's Gate 3 got a Kickstarter, but like, dude, you've been leaning on your community. Why you would tamper with that is beyond me on that point. But you make these CRPG style games. What tech like are we pushing here? Like that, like, I'm just trying to be honest. It's like you guys stuck to your guns through and through with Baldur's Gate 3 and got rewarded with 20 million copies sold. Now it's been confirmed. That's insane. So what are you chasing? And I think that's where the business just kicks in. I read that and I heard that and I was like, really? Like, why you guys? Like, that doesn't.
But here's the thing. You're right. It's the business, right? But my thing is, we always talked about this, the artistry of game development, the business of game development. And then it comes down to, okay, he said it, if we don't use this, we could be dead out here. And that's the thing. Again, I'm not saying that in this case, if they didn't use it, they were out of here. You know, it seems like, you know, Baldur's Gate was going to be more than fine.
They would have some serious spending issues if they are out of here after Baldur's Gate.
Clearly. But how I'm looking, I'm with you. What I look at it is future project. Remember, they're doing Divinity, they're doing these new stuff now. Can they afford? I don't remember the development type. Remember the Dukes, correct me. I don't remember how. I feel like the development cycle for Baldur's Gate 3 took a long time.
Yeah, compared to it's they got Divinity Original Sin 2 out of early access in 2017, I believe.
Right. Yeah. So Baldur's Gate, before we got to release, wasn't it like a community
early access period? Yep.
Yeah. So that's I
think 2020 is when 2020, 2021.
Okay. Fair enough. What I'm just trying to say is, in this climate, we have to admit, those are heroic, rare stories where the community believes so much in you, and you're going to come out. And normally it don't go like that. We just got to be real. Normally it's like, big publisher, you got to impress, and we're going to decide if we're going to invest in you or not, or do it on your own and take much longer. And that's what when he's bitching in the business part, that's the reality, bro. Some of the best games, if they don't get funded or they don't get, it's not here. So that's why I think, that's what I'm thinking some of this talk may be coming from, the business side of trying to get on with their next project, as well as doing things potentially more efficient. So, but he has the answers, he knows. But I just see, when I read those statements, he keeps pushing back at Jason. Jason is kind of like AI bad, right? AI inefficient, right? AI. And he's like, well, you could look at, he says I would find the same argument back in the day for other things. Anything that was automated has always been considered. I think the part of this job that makes sure that you are competitive and state of art. So if you don't look at the state of the art, you will eventually regret it. And that's going to be worse. So it's like, bro, we're not going to get left behind if everyone else is doing this and we ain't using it just to say for the purity argument. That's how I interpret. Maybe I'm really looking too much. I guess that's how I'm interpreting.
No, I think it makes sense. It's just one of those things now where I'm like, okay, I got to see this play out. Like, I don't think the firm all bad stance works anymore. I don't think I really had that. Like, I was always like, use it as a tool. But now we're seeing it. But now I'm seeing like, okay, well, this company who sounded like they were using it as a tool is now pushing into like, well, concept art as well. Oh, dialogue.
NPC.
Yeah, like, it's just like little NPC over here. Like, you don't care about that, right? You care about like the main big scenes, like Karlach losing her shit in Act 3 of Baldur's Gate 3. Like, that'll be human hand. I'm like, yeah, but if everything surrounding it, then am I like cutting through this fucking synthetic pie to get to like the real, apple in the middle? Yeah, like, is that what I'm doing here? The real sweet treat in the middle.
Yeah, so, I got you.
You know, it's a good conversation. And I'll put it this way. I don't know what the reception on my video about it is. I think it's going to be 50-50 though. I think there's going to be a lot of people telling me to go fuck myself. I think there's a lot of people going to be like, yeah, you're right. Like, I don't think there's a right or wrong right now. I don't think you can really plant your flag there. That's why I kind of was like, okay, I got to back up and think. Cause like, I don't think you can just look at what Larian's doing and be like, everything is wrong. Cause I'm like, dude, if they have been this like for their fans for so long, again, kind of the same thing we talked about Casey Hudson, like such an obvious shot in the foot. If I'm taking that moment to reflect, I feel like others should, because I don't think you'll find anyone as fucking preachy about AI than I've been. So I just think, it's one of those things where it doesn't have to be good. Like, I like a lot, again, to me, the ultimate comment in all of this was Bruce Straley, who worked at Naughty Dog.
Right.
And he's working on that chicken foot game. But to me, I think the best comment was this. He wrote on Twitter, I'm very aware that this is all bigger than me. The reality is AI is here and not going away. But I've chosen my path. I don't use Gen AI or any LLMs in my work. There may be a point in time that I can't say anymore, but for today, that's my choice. And I think that's respectable. Like, I think that's like not shitting on anyone who's doing it. You're just saying like, I'm not doing it though. And if there's a point where like, and he's protecting himself, he's like, there might come a point, dude, where it's just stupid to be operating like this. Like, the tools are more ethical and they are more forward facing, and you can see the obvious benefits, and then you take them in. So I think that's the best take you can have out of all this, is like a developer saying, look, maybe there's a time, because I mean, this is a guy who's one of the key leads at Naughty Dog. Like, if he's out there saying like, look, I'm not using it. I'm like, okay, so I'm like, will a new hero rise from the ashes? or is this like a thing where he'll end up looking like, time to start using that.
Right.
I respect that kind of take. It's like, I think that's the nuance we need right now of like, hey, man, keep your head on eyes on the prize, but like, you could look, just don't touch,
I get it. I think it's a fair argument, and I think that I think your strongest argument too is when you made the point about the messenger and the steward, right? There's some people based on we on Baldur's Gate 3, bro. It's a beautiful masterpiece of a game that felt so much heart in it, right? And you felt like, man, this is different. This is what we wanted BioWare to be doing. We're like, yo, and I'm never gonna take that away from them. But it gave me a step back. Like, oh, I was generally floored by this. I was like, oh wow, I did not see this at all. So again, it goes to show you, okay, yeah, we're in that inflection point. It's also going to be the trust of the steward, because let's be honest, gamers do not trust certain people in steward of these type of technologies for potential monetization things and job loss and stuff like that. And then, but it did open my eyes that, okay, yeah, sometimes maybe we do hold certain people too virtuous. And shout out to Sven and them being honest. Like he could have lied his way through that. He could have not revealed any of that. And no one would have known anything.
That's the other layer of this story. I've been playing their games for a decade. I know they talk. They're very open. It's been one of the things. It's why everyone loves them. So it's so funny now to see they're being open about their pipeline, and they're years out and they're like, this is what we're doing. And that's what they've always done. This is what we're doing. Yeah. And here it is. It's like blowing up in their face now. Yeah, and so what happens here that could also be a negative is that, like, okay, we don't need to talk to them, dude. What the fuck was that? Like that kind of silence. Same with other teams. Other teams are looking at it, being like, dude, he just took all the heat for us.
Bro,
keep your heads down.
The bullet. Yeah.
No interviews right now. Nothing,
That response was like, yo, what the F, guys? All I said was to be transparent. And it's an interesting time, man. We will continue to monitor it. And like I said, I'm glad we're having this nuanced conversation about it. It's important.
Absolutely. All right. Well, into Xbox world we go. Predictably and unsurprisingly, Forza Motorsport's done. There was a blog post on the Forza website, and they said, quote, as our team shifts its focus toward delivering the best possible experience of Forza Horizon 6 in 2026, we do not plan to introduce any new cars, tracks, features, or regular bug fixes for Forza Motorsport. However, we will continue supporting the game by keeping the servers active, hosting special events and competitions, and reintroducing previously released featured tours and reward cars on a monthly basis until all content is available for you to enjoy anytime. We hope you can continue racing with us on Forza Motorsport in 2026, and we'll see you at the track. Rip. Not surprised, man, but hello, Tokyo.
Hey, get ready for that Horizon, man.
We got a good ride in here.
Let's go.
It's funny enough, it's from a guy named Phil. It says, Dukes, 2023 Xbox roll call, Redfall dead, Minecraft Legends dead. He doesn't have Hi-Fi Rush in here, but sold off. We can throw that in there. Forza Motorsport dead, Starfield life support. So yeah, 2023, man. What a year. What a year to be around the brand. So different now.
I'll push back on Starfield, though. I'm hearing things. The streets is talking.
Streets are talking.
Streets are talking. I'm hearing some good things. But yeah, for the most part, don't get no more, transparent than we're not doing any updates, no patches. And it's just, it's all full steams ahead. And then obviously we know what happened with Turn 10 and the studio as far as that. So yeah, this is not surprising. We kind of, seeing it coming. The question becomes, will they ever go back to motorsport? That's the question. Yeah. And I'm not feeling confident right now.
Yeah, this reminds me of, oh my God, what was the company? I think it was Vicarious Visions. They were supposed to be working on like a Tony Hawk game, but they got folded into Blizzard. And everyone was like, and they were like to support World of Warcraft or some shit. Yeah. Everyone was like, dude, no way you guys are going to do this. And they did. And this reminds me of that, where I don't think they're going to make another Forza Motorsport. When you cut half that team, bro, they was 50% was the number.
Yeah.
I just don't think you just suddenly scale that up and say, hey guys, let's get a racing game for our other racing game. Like you have this talent familiar with making racing games. You have the very popular Horizon series. Just pour your assets into that. Let them support it. I don't know, man. It sucks. I'm not advocating for it, but I don't think they make another Forza.
It's a tough sell in this climate based on the sales and again, with a new Microsoft that requires, what is it, that 30% rumor?
30%, yeah.
Right. And we know what Horizon does. it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be hard for them to justify. I hope I'm wrong, because Forza Bros do deserve a hardcore sim, right? But it may be a long time before we get there. It's just Horizon Trade is just too much right now.
Absolutely. So that's what's going on with Forza. Sorry, Forza Bros. Hug and a kiss for you. I'm sorry. Go stick it in your gas tank, would you?
Show some respect.
Been on the course for all of you guys who fucking came at me over the years.
Oh my God.
Go race your track in Tokyo now, guys. That's right.
Messi, you out there doing the meme. Forgive him.
All right. Xbox has teased their next developer direct. As we'll talk about in a moment here, they were not at the Game Awards outside of an advert. Matt Booty was speaking with Variety, and he said, quote, "I can't share exactly what's there, but we've got stuff that we're shipping. A lot of stuff we're shipping next year. In fact, usually Developer Direct is about highlighting what's coming for the next year. This year, we've got more stuff than we can fit into one show. So I'll tell you that Playground Games, who is obviously the developer behind Fable and Forza Horizon 6, is going to be at the Dev Direct, but we'll have more stuff next year to ship than we can fit into one Dev Direct show in January, which is a good place to be." He even mentions a Halo remastered collection, which is an interesting word to use because is that Halo Campaign Evolved? Like,
correct. It wasn't called remastered collection.
Yeah. He said, quote, "We've announced things like Halo remastered collection that we've got coming. And we've got a lot of other things that we'll talk about soon that ship next year. So it's going to be a real banner year for the brand and a banner year for some of our biggest franchises to show up across the industry," end quote. So they are not slowing down the hype train for 2026. Obviously, as we'll talk about in one of our holiday episodes, 2026 is looking like a huge year in the terms of at least quantity of releases for Xbox. Cog, with this tease here, we have the question from Sean Sander. He says, "Hey, Dukes, I know Xbox has their partner showcase in January, but do you feel they should have had at least one announcement at the Game Awards rather than a Game Pass advert? Surely it makes sense to get them out there more while the whole world is watching to make Xbox still seem relevant, right?" Thoughts? Cog, your thoughts on obviously everything that was shared here by Mr. Booty.
Booty tease. That's what I said. Booty was teasing. Sean, look, I agree with you, Sean. I think that look, there's been a internal discussion amongst the Xbox community as to, hey, why are you only giving Jeff stuff? You need to create your own show and generate hype and interest for your own products as opposed to giving Jeff. Well, the counter argument is like, bro, that's the most eyes you will ever get in the games industry. You need to be there. So I think it's a balance of both. We saw that they had, the Hellblade 2 announcement there. They debuted their system, Series X, remember, was actually, shown and stuff like that. So look, I'm of the mindset you could do both. Mm-hmm. I'm of the mindset that it wouldn't have hurt to tease one major title. Now, people will come back and say, "Kyle, well, they did in the Game Pass ad, and they had the Gears logo." But I was like, I didn't like that. That ad was terrible. Look, I don't like the ads lately. I'm just going to be brutally. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. PR, you guys are marketing. You guys are always awesome when it comes to hardware and controllers and things of that nature. And for the most part, Game Pass too. But this particular one, and this is Xbox stuff, it just is cringy to me. I don't like the imagery. I don't like ex-retired boxers. I don't like janitors coming out, sweeping, going past vaults. And I don't like it. Like, show the game.
They're very much communicating the idea of what you love is dead.
Yeah, they're doing something completely different, and maybe I just got to accept it. But I like traditional style video game hype cycles. I like that, and I would just like to have that for y'all. But as far as that, where I will give them the utmost credit, they are finally at the point where it's like, bro, we don't need you, Jeff, because what they did is say, hey, yeah, he's doing his show, but just letting y'all know, we got wild stuff coming in 2026. And now that you're in this publisher bag, remember, it no longer just services the Xbox audience. Now the places, the Nintendo Switch guys are like, wait, what could be coming to us? You know what I'm saying? For our show. And let's be real, the direct, the developer direct and their showcase, to me, if not are the best showcases for the major publishers, like, they are number 2 at minimum. So it's like, I feel they're the best. When it comes to the developer direct, going to the studio, showcase the game, shadow drop, information, roadmap for the year, Nobody's doing it better. When it comes to the showcase, getting the hype cycle, the last 2-3 of them, you can make the best for the industry, and then giving the developer spotlight for one game, like how they did Starfield, they Black Ops, obviously Outer Worlds. Like, that's A-class stuff to me. Like, I love it. So that's where they're finally at, that I say, yo, all right, y'all did that. Y'all came from the inside Xbox era. I remember I was there. Yeah. When these were laughable, jokeable things.
Yeah,
and we were like, bro, can they ever market their own games right? So they did. So that's where I'm at with it. It's like, yes, I think you could do both. You can walk and chew gum at the same time. But it's clear as day they've chosen to focus on their own show, which I'm not too mad at, because their show is fire. And I'm hyped for that direct, bro. I'm hearing a lot of things, bro.
Yeah, the fact that they have so many games, I think this would have been a good year to show up at the Game Awards, like just to spread the wealth. I imagine there's stuff in Q1 or 2 that could have gotten a little look here. Yeah, I'm with you on, we talked about it last week, but the whole teasing Gears E-Day in a Game Pass advert is just a little like, it feel like I said last week, it's just very cost cutty to me. It's like very much like, hey, we paid for this slot. We're trying to advertise our service, and 2-for-1 deal. Here's 2026 Gears E-Day. And I'm like, you know, and also like soft commitment. And it's kind of like one of those things where we already sort of knew this based on how Phil concluded the summer showcase. Yeah. So it brings up a couple of things there where you're like, not that exciting. And I don't know. I feel like that's what the brand is. Best word I could use it as allergic to right now. It's just like, they're so focused on changing how we think about Xbox that they have forgotten the fun. And I think that is what I want more of. I want a fun Xbox. It was fun seeing the developer direct come out, because I knew it was like, hey, we're here to show you games. And I get they got a business to run, but I think there's just less heavy-handed ways to transition this brand and this sort of phase it was going through. Like, I get things like hardware are a little more tougher to navigate, but like, you don't got to change the whole message around how you talk to gamers. Like, you know, like you said, Xboxers, and like retiring these guys, and this is how we play now, and this is an Xbox. Like, you're not making it fun, which is, at the end of the day, I know the goal of advertising is to sell you something, and selling things is making things fun. Like, I look at that and go, I want that, or I need that, or in today's day and age, it's, I want to support that, right? I don't think a lot of people who got their wallets ready in this industry are going, what Xbox is doing, man, I want to support that, right? like I'm being real. Like, they completely 180 in so many ways. So yeah, I think they would behoove themselves to get out in front of a bigger set of eyes, because what you say is true. Like, Developer Direct, I think, is amazing. I still love that thing. Still my favorite showcase of every year. I always love just starting off the year, getting an idea what's to come, like right format. But I just feel like if they're not going to be involved beyond that, that's a problem, because people aren't liking Xbox. And now it's like, well, if the only place I can go to get news about your stuff is your thing, we're now at square one, right? Because remember, people weren't coming to them. So before we got Dev Direct, there's that picture of Phil sitting in the crowd, like, you know, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Don't do that to me. Come on, that was a tough day.
No,
don't do that to my.
I know.
I remember that pic in the face of the memes. Yeah. Because wasn't that? I think that was post Red. What was that post? It was something bad that happened that he had to show up. It was something.
What was that?
What was it? Remember, the Dukes is probably laughing at us because remember it was this. It's still they had my man with the face. It was funny, and I ain't gonna front. The memes was kind of crazy.
Spencer Game Awards. I don't know.
It reminded me of like Smug Maddie. Like, it was Smug Maddie, but it was like Smug Phil, and they was going wild with it. And they had him in the audience, and I like.
Oh, I think this was when we thought the merger was going to get blocked with Activision. That's what it was. Yes. We thought he was sitting there bummed because the shit was about to get blocked.
No, that was a tough. Don't bring that up, man. I was going through it.
Nobody didn't think about that
because it just got blocked by the FTC. I think. And then we're like, oh no, this might not go through.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember now.
It's so funny to think about too, because that could have been the best thing that happened to him that day, and he had no idea. We had no idea.
I remember that. It's a rough day in the office. A lot of rake days. I remember.
Yeah, those days. But yeah, like I was saying, getting it back to square one, I think on some level would help, because I don't think you put all your eggs in the Developer Direct basket. I think like Game Awards pulls crazy numbers too. Like every year, Jeff's like, yep, new record. It's like casual. No one blinks at it. I think it's very impressive though. And these last two shows they put on, I'm biased. Yeah. Man, they've been great. And so I if I'm Xbox with that Xbox money, I'm putting at least one thing in there in a major way, not a Game Pass advertisement. Like,
I agree.
A game. You know, and they have like the games this, at least based on what we're expecting next year, they got the games that can, I think, kind of make some noise in there as well.
Hell yeah.
So I don't know. As long as they have a plan to show, like, are they doubling up the Dev Direct? That would be hilarious. Obviously, like, man, we got so much. We're gonna give you 2 directs. Like,
that would be what they do got a lot though. I mean, to your point, though, I think you answered the question for me, but when you said it screams cost cutting, saving energy. Mm-hmm. And I do agree. You made a perfect point. Right now, the brand, regardless of what they say, the brand damage is high, and people are not liking the energy from the platform overall, right? Based on how aggressively they're telling you what we're doing and what we're no longer doing, right? So it behooves them, to kind of like, okay, get out there in front of the Game Awards, showcase some amazing thing that you got going on with either Xbox Global Publisher and stuff like that, so that people are like, oh, wow, that's coming to the platform. And especially, here's the last thing, especially that now that you're a publisher, you are transitioning to be a publisher. I mean, EA, all these guys are there. I mean, for the most part, the major guys are there, right? So it's just like, you have to wear that crown now, since you're going to be servicing these games to other platforms as well. So, it's cost cutting. I still think they could do both. And I just worry that we're no longer going to have their presence there. Even though I love their shows and they do things better than everyone, I feel right now, I still think that, you need to be there though, bro. Yeah. Like, that's the thing. And it just screams like, oh, those Jeff joints cost $1 million thing. No, we're good. 30%, bro. Get that profit.
It's like Nintendo wasn't there, right?
True. Barely.
PlayStation was there, right? They had more like third-party stuff.
No, I remember seeing a Nintendo ad. I thought I saw like one.
Yeah, was there like a game that Nintendo had?
Yeah, you may be right. Maybe we giving them too hard, because what did PlayStation show? Now that I think about,
I'm thinking of not Where Winds Meet, Phantom Blade Zero. That's kind of always been
time exclusive, jump off. Yeah. Yep. They had a couple of times. They had another time. Yeah, PlayStation was there. PlayStation had a couple of joints that at least at minimum was like timed exclusive, and you didn't see the Xbox logo. It didn't happen a lot, but it was like maybe 2 or 3 of them I can remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be cool. Like, imagine if they had a similar situation. Imagine if this was last year. It was like, I don't want to take away from the Developer Direct, because Ninja Gaiden was huge the way they did it, but imagine like something in the vein of a Ninja Gaiden 4, some Xbox Global Publishing deal that you associate with them, and it's a project they got out. And you say, yeah.
I just think what is undervalued is, and it could go against him, but when Jeff Keighley tees up an announcement, right? Like when he puts the ball on the tee and he starts talking like, and this one is an unbelievable partnership between 2 developers that you never thought would come together, but they have to bring back a legendary series. And then the Ninja Gaiden 4 trailer plays. That might have more global impact than Developer Direct surprise. So
I agree.
There's something to be said about his way of dressing the announcement. Obviously, you get what Half-Life 3 fans had, where like Jeff's talking about a long franchise gone for a while, and then here's the Blue Bomber. Like I get it. Like there's moments where it misses, but I think when he tees it up and it lands, which I think Ninja Gaiden 4 was a practical. I know when you're in the building and in the thick of it, it may not feel that way, but it feels like that was a lock. Like that was a good announcement, right? You got to wonder about that, like the choices they could make. Like it's not bad they put it in the Developer Direct. What a great surprise that was.
Oh, it was amazing. I love that.
But at the same time, I look at it and think, what if now in this hindsight 2020,
with the global
moment at the Game Awards or something like that.
Now the world is,
because again, you're a month removed, right? So it's not like we're super far from like the next showcase where it's like, oh, well, the marketing plans weren't ready yet. So I don't know. It's I'm still looking forward to the Developer Direct. I don't think they have to be like up to their ears in Game Awards stuff, but I think Xbox's reluctance to be involved is hurting them more beyond just optics. It's like you just want to be an invisible force right now. Kind of ashamed. Don't want to be seen. That's how I kind of read it. But
yeah, no, I read it like,
money's part of it for sure.
We'll hit them 30% targets. How much them joints cost? Them ads from Jeff? Now we're good. We can do that on our own now. We don't have to. That also reads that AB Hood energy to me too. Yeah. Like, why are we spending for that? Why?
The intangibles of the games industry that somehow work in your favor. That's why.
I know that part.
All right, Cog. It's time to wrap up. Final Duke of the Year. How are we feeling, sir?
Feeling good. Feeling satiated. Another good year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of stuff, man. Man, what a year of news. And obviously, you know, I love doing this show with you. And it's always fun. So, yeah, man. And I just love we you know, I like that. One of my favorite features about you is that you don't run from smoke. Even if it's like you like, nah, we're gonna put that in there. Most people like, oh, we ain't gonna what now. Like, no, let's put that in there. Yeah, like they coming at me, or this is something I'm on the other side of. Let's have the talk, right? Yeah. And that's what I love about this show. We don't run from even with stuff about, yo, I was dead wrong in this. All right, let's talk about it. Let's get the correction going on. Yeah. You know, that type of stuff. But yeah, no, this was dope. As far as the hash, as we talking the hash now.
Yeah, let's talk the hash.
Hash. As we did, I mean, the AI was big. The fandom was big. Man, that was probably bigger than the rec, low key. You know, man.
Yeah,
that's the one. So what we calling it?
You just kind of do like the year, like DD 2025.
Okay, yeah. We could do a yearly recap. Yeah, we don't have to be that single. Absolutely, because this is it for us. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you want to tag us on Twitter? We could use the hashtag DD 2025. Tag us there. I'm at G27status. Cog is at Lord Cognito. Let us know your thoughts on the episode or use the comment section below on YouTube, hashtag DD2025. It's been a pleasure serving you. If I could fucking speak, I clearly can't wait to get out of here. It's been a pleasure serving you for another year of Defining Duke. Like I said, we have more sentimental thoughts that we will share in episode 261, so look forward to that. But again, it's been a blast doing this with you guys. We'll be back next year in our current form. You'll still have us for 2 episodes again while we're away. We'll have our usual holiday stuff. For those who are wondering on the look ahead, we're doing a look back at 2025 and sort of the business choices Xbox made, the highs and lows of it, just kind of, you know, year in review. Yes. And that's fun. And then we dare to dream, as I mentioned in the episode, we dare to dream about Xbox's 2026 in all the good and bad ways. So look forward to us speculating a bit about what's coming in 2026. My big fear was that we were going to be snake bitten with that episode, but since the news is winding down, looks like we got in just in the right time there. So look forward to those episodes while we're gone. They'll be live, patreon.com/laststandmedia for early access. Otherwise on YouTube for free and other places you listen to podcasts like Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, all that stuff. But that does it for 2025. We hope you enjoy. We'll be back next year talking about who the hell knows what. This industry moves so fast and news can break at any moment. But until then, please take excellent care of yourselves and peace out.
Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast, is a product and trademark of Last Stand Media and Collins Last Stand LLC, and is recorded from the United States of America. The show is conceived by Matthew Mr. Matty Plays Schroeder and me, Colin Moriarty, and is written and produced by Matthew Schroeder. Matty's co-host is Barry Lord Cognito Eversley. Defining Duke's executive producer is Dustin Furman. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. As you know, all of Last Stand Media's shows, including Defining Duke, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer support level on Patreon, and we're thankful for your kindness and generosity.